every time I went to go fire it, like, that was it. It was like, come on, it's not even beating.
Yeah, the amount of guys that we had to like recycle through pistol qualification because of like malfunctions that were well outside of their problem. You know, it wasn't the actual sorter that was having the issue; it was the firearm over and over again.
They're all over the surplus market right now for like $300.
Now we also still use,
$200 F9.
depending on which shift you're on, they still might use like those old Mini 14s.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Mark
the Mini 14.
Yep.
Yeah, but they just like modified to make it look more modern.
Those things are still good though when you're sweeping a deck. When you got to go into like some other fucking yacht, and you're like, you'll see those pop out from time to time on various boat cruise. And you're like, what are you running vintage? Yeah,
I kind of like
this
the
is gonna
Mini
be fun.
14. It's not a bad platform. I mean, the old ones are abused and dog shit, but overall, it's not bad.
I wouldn't know. They're not California legal.
Hang up the stuff that I have in my house is not California legal.
Yeah, I did it sadly. Like I would love a Mini 14.
I bet if you put like a dildo pistol grip on it, you could probably make an
But you
argument
gotta
for
make
it in
it count
California.
before you shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
With pink grips, and then you have I love Gavin Newsom on it.
Yeah, the 12,000 rounds is not unreasonable to unload every box with your group.
Well, Pete Hag said that there's got an 8%, 50 billion, and that might seem like a lot, but that's a start, so we'll see where he's cut. Hopefully not somewhere like that. I mean, if it's effective, but I mean, send some down to the civilian market too, bros. You know, I mean, that'd be nice.
Hey,
We used to be able to get surplus ammunition, and you can't even get that shit no more.
I'm gonna say all I know, bro.
I love to shoot. I got a couple of Colt AR-15 A2s, and I used to love to be able to shoot, you know, just plink even with that. And I don't do that anymore because I can't get that. I mean, I can get it at the store, but you can get military surplus ammo and it, you know, fired pretty good because with a Colt AR-15 A2, you can shoot 223 and 5.56. So I can get military surplus ammo and it was
But
nice.
you get it as a
It's really hard
civilian,
to come
you do not have to have that with a life with death situation consistently. That's why we can use old ammo. I think
Well, it'd be nice to set it down if it got
100 years old, and they misfire. Every 3 of them misfire.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to use it in the military.
Exactly.
I didn't have that experience myself, but I didn't shoot 100-year-old ammo. But I've shot old Soviet ammo. You know, lots of 7.62 by 3.9, man, and it hasn't misfired. And it was covered in fucking grease, dude.
I'm gonna say,
Grease, you know.
hey Brad, how often did you guys have a range day on the ship?
Soviet
We fired.
7.62.
We
Yeah.
did practice every week, and so we had to stay tactical. Because we were a defensive perimeter, we were running and gunning, so we had to be able to hit down not only drug runners but pirates. And my primary role was to hunt down those that were an optimal threat. So we got range day every week on the ship, and it was kind of fun. Firing off the stern and floating targets was kind of nice. And tactical clearings, those were pretty good. And the Navy would have training ships out there that are just like old World War II ships that they're going to sink out there and add to the reef or use for target practice. We would go on there beforehand, and we would have targets and instructors on there, and we would go through and clear those ships. So it was a lot of fun. But we did a lot of fucking treatment.
Getting see the 5-inch and shit shoot, bro. That shit's crazy.
Oh,
that shit's
man.
loud as hell. People don't realize how loud that shit is.
So, Brad, in your position, did you like control the boat? Were you like the driver? Is that what that
I was
is?
in the cockpit, yes.
Yeah, nice. That's pretty badass. I would like to do something like that, but you know, it's
You'll never get a
not my
chance.
thing,
You're too
man.
old.
Well, 34, but I'm not joining the military now, man. I mean, this just wasn't my thing. It wasn't my calling. So, but hey, shut up, bitch.
You gotta go back down, bro.
Yeah, do that, motherfucker.
Kickle.
I want to say, fourth, when you were in Army, right? That's the branch you were in?
Correct.
Did you guys get to use high caliber weapon, the AT4, with like the mortars or anything.
In basic and a little bit AIT, not too much because I got too much. We just
Oh,
pretty
you
much
are
figured
you
out-
are firing like HE rounds out of AT4 basic, right? It's all like the 9mm tracer shit.
Yeah, a lot of that. Well, we got to do the grenade launcher.
The 2, 3, yeah, but those are chalk rounds too. So
I'll say the is it the detachable
No,
one
they
or
got
the
a
one that's
lot.
connected to the rifle?
Say
The detachable one or the one that's on the rifle?
the detachable. And the one that was on the rifle, actually.
yeah, the M203 is like mounted under an M4.
Yeah.
We shot those in
I wish-
basic training, but they were like orange chalk rounds. They weren't-
I wish I could have
They
fired
let us
those.
hit a couple of live.
For us, it was like if you got the triple threat. So if you got expert in grenade, rifle, and pistol, like those folks got to pick whether they shot off an AT4, an M203, I think a Claymore.
A Claymore, bro, that's like fun as fuck.
I don't know, bro. I've used like bullets. Even
Yeah,
we threw 2 live hand grenades, and that was one of the scariest things I've ever done.
Yeah, definitely remember the chopper.
You want to hear
There
a
was
funny
a lot of
story?
people sweating bullets in that.
Bro, I was sketched. I was scared. You're holding your life in your hand. As soon as that pin comes out of that fucking thing, it's like,
So still got here's the funny thing. So our team leader, he was sitting there, he's like, hey, I'm gonna give you the flashbang and you can throw that in. They never trained me on it, nothing like that. They were just like, throw that fucker in. I threw it in and hit the fucking bulkhead. It bounced back like within 2 feet. And I was like, holy shit, that thing went off so loud. That was my first experience. And then I got sent to the old man. He's like, who told you you could do that? And I was like, I just took the initiative. You weren't qualified. Now we have to get you qualified in order to cover your ass. You're going to be fucking restricted to on the ship for fucking 30 days, no port. And I was like, oh, come on. Walk down a hallway, come on.
Wow.
Yeah, man, good times, good times.
And everybody knows that range day, when you go out, there's always that one idiot that you're like, who gave this fucker a gun?
Still, I didn't know you were in the military.
Only one?
What branch you were in?
I was in the reserves. I was in the Army Reserves. I was in MP.
I would like to
There was a
play
bunch of
with
them.
I would like to play with the idea of the draft. Any fans of the draft here?
Yes, we
No.
should draft all the
Are you
trainers.
signing up, Tally? You gonna sign up for the selective service?
What the 1%?
Equal rights for women.
No, it would still be for men. I just think that maybe the drafting age should be upped, more like 60.
It already
I-
is.
Uh,
65.
Tally, if I could go back in
Oh,
now, I
70.
would. Tally, if I could go back in now, if we were going into a conflict, and I could save someone like who's younger on the stage, like Stilgar or Huey or Louie, from having to go, I would absolutely sign up and go. In a heartbeat, you wouldn't be able to stop me.
Well, wasn't it that if there was just one son in the family, they weren't eligible for the draft? And I thought that the age would be related to the cap for signing up, which is somewhere like 30, right?
No, it's 25.
25?
Each branch is slightly different.
Join after 25. I knew a dude that
No,
joined at like
she said
37.
she said the draft.
Oh, the draft. Okay,
Yeah,
No, I was late for that. I'm not
I
that
thought
young. I wish I was.
I thought the two were connected. So currently the draft is at 65?
No, I misspoke. I thought it was it's 25.
It's just 25, but like you have the active ready reserve people, and then you have some of us that could be called back. Like I got a letter once, and it was like, here, go report to Fort Drum. And basically I was handed a mop for a week, and then I was like, yeah, you can go home. And that's what they do with a lot of
That's
these
the
guys.
situation I'm in, Brad. I'm back to do dumb shit.
Yeah, back to doing dumb shit when they call you back, and like, and all of us all think like, yeah, I'm going back into the suck. Finally, yes. And then you find out like, yeah, here's your mop and bucket. You volunteer as an advisor to help in training and then clean up the mess. Fuck.
Damn,
Alright.
that's how they do y'all.
That's how they do
Yeah,
it.
pretty much, bro. So did it. That's what I think.
Yeah,
People don't know, bro.
that's
You sign up on that at the reserves, bro. They call you for those minuscule reasons.
Oh
Do you
shit.
think that we could maybe
I got
force?
this stuff.
Do you think we could maybe force another baby boom if we send men to war, even if they're just mopping, mopping the desert?
The baby boom came back.
Holly, if you wanted a baby boom, here's what you would do. You would have women sign up for the draft for the Navy only, and then you would assign them to ships that are going on 6-month to year-long deployments. Before you got underway, every single one of those women would get pregnant.
That's actually a big issue right now. It's that, like, I think it was like a stat that 75% of women who get deployed on the Navy ships get like pregnant within like the first 3 months. And like they have a lot of women. They have a lot of women.
Army,
They have a lot of women on leave. So like that's an issue.
in the army, like how they situate is right before deployments is when women typically pop up pregnant, and then no deployment for them because once they found out within a certain period, it's too late, so you can't go.
Yeah, I think we had something like 80%, 85%, Eric, when we were about to get underway of the women that were on there. They were all knocked up. It was,
And people be going down on the ships, bro. You know?
Yeah, they were done. Like, and then when we had to do rescue ops on subs, this was one because that was part of my task too. Was if we were near a sub, you have to go rescue people. But the number of people I had to go to other ships because they were like, hey, you're going to go into port, you're going to go rescue the sub guy, then we'd have to make a detour and go pull off some of the women that were pregnant on other ships because we were the ones headed into port. They were headed out to deep water. I'd be like, man, motherfuckers. Like, how do you, like, go on birth control if you're deploying or you're getting ready to deploy. That's part of your duty.
What's the
They want their
man to woman? What's the man to woman ratio on those ships?
Oh, like, I'd say, yeah, 30 to 1. I mean, they make good money. They get paychecks. They get a whole ton of paychecks.
Depends on how many.
They come out like Lily Phillips.
Yeah,
Probably like 3 to 1.
Definitely.
There was a point where women were signing up for kids. Oh, and I couldn't figure this out until one girl told me. She's like, "There's a shit ton of Marines. There's only so many women there, and I'm gonna be guaranteed that I'm gonna meet a guy." And they were going there because they just were like, they were desirable because there was like 5 women, and so they would have.
It's so far.
Wow. Okay, so
That's what our war
we
effort.
used to send, well, some people used to send their daughters to college to find a husband. Are you suggesting that they instead send them to the Navy?
You're not gonna find a husband.
I don't know if you're gonna find a husband, but you're definitely
I'm
gonna
gonna
get a
sign the
grandchild
fuck
out
up.
of it.
Yeah, we're Brad tell you, you're not gonna find a husband. That's not. I wouldn't even me. I wouldn't look for that type of relationship in there.
Oh, so they're just getting pregnant?
But one thing I'm gonna tell you that I can stand, and I'm glad that Pete Hegseth is like one of those people like me, is women in leadership positions, bro. Especially when they're higher risk than you, bro. I love that.
They're so chill. They kicked me.
always say that, and I never
Yeah.
like.
You don't even need to finish that. Yep, of course.
Okay, and so you do feel like it.
With night sights, I mean, that's not, inconceivable. Or not with iron sights, like, that's not inconceivable. A rifle's iron sights and a pistol's iron sights are different. Yeah, simply because a pistol's iron sights are very thick and broad, and a rifle's, they're like, who could possibly know? I mean, that's
Yeah, I know. It's not like you're fucking annoying or anything. No.
Who could ever find that out? I mean, I could never understand why they would want. Yeah, crazy.
In Andrew's room anyway.
Yeah, the fact that anyone in Andrew's room has you blocked is fucking surprising. The only thing I would think is some of the Clubhouse people have been coming back, or it's from Discord, I mean, like Tom's people, because, like, John Lee's not around anymore. So, of course, he's been hanging out here more. So they're trying to get more entertainment from here now.
Words.
Yeah, correct.
For the record, there's a lot of mods in Andrew's room who have been blocked. And there's like 5 I can name off the top of my head. Yeah.
I think the one that had me blocked was Ryan for the longest time. He had me blocked for the hottest minute, and then I think he unblocked me. So. Yeah, what's his name? You remember what his fucking name is? I think his name's Ryan. Same thing. He's the one that had the fucking weird smiley fucking photo. Fucking weirdo.
Hi, everybody. Hate it.
Toast was telling us about
Going on with the
hell
serpent,
and
dude.
how it operates and what's going on.
This dude was just sitting here complaining about a guy hijacking the show because he doesn't prefer him.
I'm sorry.
He prefers email, and then you're like, no, it's okay, Babs, it's fine. But he was
That,
like, you see like the inconsistency here in the thought pattern. Like, it's like this one guy here, he's not allowed, but he happens to be black. But you're allowed to like hijack the show though, and he's gonna sit there and talk to you though.
Wait,
Like, what's up
he's
with
not
this
even
guy?
black. He
Like,
wasn't
crap.
black.
Babs has a history.
Dude, what's going on
Yeah,
with that?
Babs has like a known record in career here, right?
Yeah, Mondo's a total goofball.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah, but what's the difference here? Like why are you subbing for this chick?
He's a complete and utter goofball.
I've known
And
Babs
Babs actually kind of hates Toast, so it's funny.
Yeah, I mean,
Toast is kind of the worst.
But still, like, at least Babs has like a record on here, right? I don't even know that other guy.
Yeah, but why are you subbing?
He's not
Okay, I'll
something.
shut up.
I'm just shooting shit. Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I'll shut up.
Simping, dude.
Sorry, I'm sipping too hard here. My
He
bad.
doesn't get you.
Jesus, Toast, calm down. Calm down, bro.
Just been a
Jesus
while.
Christ.
I'm
Yeah, Jay doesn't get you, Toast.
Hate's a very strong word. I just strongly
He thinks
dislike
you're
you.
sociopathic.
I know I am. I mean, like, I'm not a sociopath.
Toast, I think Jay thinks Toast is sociopathic and like,
Oh,
like
that's true.
total like dishonest interlocutor and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
Jay says
heard
that
the shoe
about
thing. I heard the shoe thing. That seemed pretty dishonest. What are you doing?
It's kind of like nobody here would get it. It's a joke with another group.
Yeah, I'm guessing with like a bunch of Nazis, right?
Actually, they don't really. I've never seen a Nazi
Yeah,
talk
a
about
black and white photo of a shoe drive. I'm thinking a la like 1944 era Poland. I'm guessing that photo was taken.
Actually, it was like 1930s Britain when this photo was
Right,
way
probably.
before the
This is
Holocaust.
why we can't have nice fucking thing.
It's funny that, so there's a joke that no one in here would get. Like, why would you come with that? So, like, you're a comedian.
It's not like. Do you think I changed my profile for like every room I'm in? No, I don't. I keep my profile very like. I keep it the
I
same.
think you're
You're only doing it mostly for shock value, right?
Yeah.
Music room.
Because you know it's like triggering and it's very polarizing, right? You're doing it
Very
intentionally,
forehand
simply for the posterizing, right?
But there's a little bit more to it, right? There's a little more context that we're missing here.
Is there
that
something
I
about
don't
your
want to
deep held beliefs that you're trying to transmute to us so we understand you better?
I'm not trying to transmute it.
Right. So you're just doing it for shock value, right?
No, it's not.
No, there's more. There's more than that. You're actually trying to give us a message.
I'm not trying to give you a fucking message.
Okay, so what is it? What is your
Do I need
intention?
to change the profile picture?
No. I just wanted to know what it was. What's the intention?
Do we have to talk about it?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, why not? You brought it up.
I didn't bring it up. Jay brought
You
it
have
up.
a PTR of that image, so we're asking about it.
I didn't bring it up.
Yeah, well, you did because you put the PTR. Like, you can ask me about orcas if you want.
I can't. Does it mean anything to you? Or it means something to you?
Which, your image or mine?
No, or you have some sort of like deeply held belief about orcas?
Yep.
But like this is like I think it's like low
No
gravity.
pun intended. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
well, I don't think it's like very high
Cages
value.
shouldn't be shallow. They shouldn't be
Told
cages.
you. Your pic's from freaking Auschwitz, dude. Fucking liar.
Do profile pictures like really mean that much to people?
Mine does. It's true. I pick it purposely for this. Some people
I'm just being cute in mine. But anyways, like I don't do like anti-Jew stuff in my PFP normally. I mean, that's maybe I'm based to some degree. I just don't like to be a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Well, he doesn't mean anti-Jew. He means something else. That's what I'm asking about.
That's right. That's right.
What do you mean, Toast? When you have that image, what's your meaning behind it?
Yeah, there was the shoe drive in 1930s Britain, right? And they collected a lot of shoes for children.
Fuck off.
And they put it all together in this giant pile, and the whole community got shoes. What's wrong with that?
You're so fucking dishonest. If I ever catch you on a street, bro, it's on site.
You'll
It's
never
on
see
fucking
me.
site, bro.
I forgot to say.
I hide your fucking ugly ass mug too, bitch. Like shit.
You don't even know what it looked like. I don't think you know my face.
Yeah, do you remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. It's been months.
I just did an image search for shoe drive 1930s Britain. Fine.
Keep looking, you'll find it.
Jefferson.
Keep looking, Jefferson.
No, I saw enough, man. To know you're full of shit anyway.
Just keep looking, and you'll find it.
So what is it, Toast? Like, what's going on there? What's the basic like outline, Roman numeral 1 of your? Is there a premise that people are calling you out on or something that they think you hold? Like, what's going on?
Like, you're making it more right. You're pointing out exactly what he said. You're not worth taking serious.
I don't know if Babs could even call. I mean, Babs might even like be honest for like 5 seconds and know the premise here, but.
I'm sorry, I'm listening to rap music. What?
Well, you're not even listening to the conversation.
Okay.
She's not even listening.
So let's get to let's get to some subject matter here. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. So what is the premise behind your position, Toast? Is someone judging you unfairly about something they think you believe? Is that what's going on?
Look, I don't want to be the center of attention. I'll just leave. It's okay. I'll go make lunch or something.
Hey man, thanks for coming down.
Yeah. All right. You guys have a good day.
Have a good day, Toast.
Thank you.
That's funny.
Cucks the fuck out.
He knows, literally.
Oh my god. A garbage person. I don't want to get service. I guess I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out his belief that like he thought he was being wrongly accused of or something. I just want to clarify.
Honey, be careful. Subscribe. He's gonna hypnotize everybody here.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he's hypnotic.
Well, let me just say something, that all communication is hypnosis. And you have to be mindful.
what?
I agree.
You have to be mindful of your language. Because you can hypnotize people.
You know what? That's right. I think Biggie Smalls wrote a song about this called "Hypnotized." You should listen to that. My Detroit players. Anyway.
Yeah, are there any theists? Any people that believe that a god is writing things and telling you what to do?
You like Buddy's Pizza?
Yeah, best pizza.
Okay, pretty good.
Buddy's.
I think Jets is better though.
That's funny. I used to live in Detroit. So.
Buddies, come on.
I'm
Jets
old.
is better.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the thing. Any theists?
Hi, I'm a theist, and I'd like to argue on behalf of God.
Do tell.
Yes, God is the universe, and this is the theory of everything. That everything is God. All is God. All words, all fat people, all atheists, all gay people, all, you know, all awesome people, super rainbow people, even the worst of the worst people, like Nazis. They're all God. That's the theory of everything. I am complete.
Wow, what a terrible take. Cool. Let me see here.
I liked it, dude. That was good.
Yes. I mean, like, so are you like the type of like everything is God, like animism, like the Native Americans believed, or like everything like in like a what's that, like pantheism? Pantheism? I don't know. Pantheism and animism are like the same thing. I don't think they are necessarily.
I think his answer would be yes. Redford, are you do you work at a pizza restaurant?
Yeah, I work at a Pizza Hut.
Nice. That's cool. That's like the best pizza, huh?
Yeah, it's decent. I prefer Buddy's Pizza or Green Lantern or.
Okay. You actually like Pizza Hut, huh? Are you a Christian?
Am I Christian? I grew up Christian Catholic.
Yeah. I'm not now.
Yeah, I'm not very religious anymore.
You don't believe God's real?
Oh man, I just question it. I did the Sunday school, everything. You know, after a while, I'm like, why am I here? My parents were like very religious.
Have you ever read a book?
What's that book?
Did you go to Brother Rice?
I'm dead. Did you go to Brother Rice? Stop it, Jeff.
Says Redford.
Oh my god, actually. Went to Redford Union.
Crap.
But yeah, man, I just question it after a while because I'm like, should churches really be taking donations like every Sunday, passing the basket? I would see $50s and $100s, and I'm like, people are struggling.
Pastor ain't the plane, man.
They're just asking for money, and they're tax exempt. Like, what are they doing?
Grifting.
So yeah, that's when I started to question.
What about the God stuff? Did you believe the stories about God and like Samson and Delilah and all that shit?
Yeah, well, when I was younger, yeah. I mean, I did the whole Sunday school.
You believed it when you read that story about Samson and Delilah and hundreds of foxes? And, like, stuff like that?
When I was younger, but like now.
You did? You believed it when you were 10? You like read the book and you're like, yeah, that totally happened.
Yeah.
He's Catholic.
Oh, that's weird, dude. See, I didn't believe it. I was just like, what?
He said he's Catholic. They didn't read the Bible.
Yeah, that's the thing I wonder. I wonder if people actually really like they think they read this stuff when they were kids and believed it. And I don't think they did. I think they were just like
You're offended.
I think they were just on autopilot.
Yeah,
like I don't think anyone's really thinking about it at all when they're little.
We had religion class, you know, they taught you all about the stuff you're supposed to learn. Not the stuff they didn't want you to learn.
I mean, when they remade Superman in 1910 and made it into a cartoon, it's the same story as Samson and Delilah. Just, you know, Clark Kent works at a fucking, you know, news office nowadays. I mean, it's the same fucking story over and over again. It's always the story of Hercules.
And a phoenix. Phoenix Rising story.
Well, there are only 11 notes technically until you get to the next octave, but so you ain't got to rehash that stuff, man. You know, reinvent. Nothing wrong with a little reimagining, you know.
Well, Joe B, are you a Muslim still? You're in the audience there, Joe.
Whoa, Joe is Muslim?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you know, we do need a Muslim on stage. Come up, Joe.
Yeah, we need someone who's religious and thinks God is real. And I know Joe's not a Muslim. That's why I'm goading her. She's a Christian.
Oh, she's Christian.
Yeah, she thinks Yahweh is real.
Well, she's an avid Christian. You can't talk right now? Aren't you supposed to be prepared to tell us?
1 Peter 3:15. It's funny because I feel like none of them really believe it because they say that God has a book that's all divine and holy and shit, and they've never really read it. They barely read the shit. So like, if God really wrote a book, right? Let's just make this.
Well, they use belief differently. You know, like belief that all that stuff they believe is the same as belief the sun is going to rise tomorrow. Those are two different things. They're not the same level of belief. One requires faith, one doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know what the reasons are. What's your reason, Joe? Are you a Muslim or a Christian?
Wait, Henry, I just want to interrupt Joe before she answers and her dentures fall out. The point is, honey, you made a good point that if God really wrote a book, you'd think people would be really interested in the book of God, right? But they're not.
Yeah, they pretend they are. They act like they are, but you expose that they're not.
I've never been a Muslim. I've
Sorry,
always.
Joe. Yeah, I know. That's why I said I was goading you up here because I know you're a Christian.
I know.
But you're not really as much of a Christian as you were like last year, right? Because of the things you've learned on Clubhouse.
No, I'm more of a Christian than anything else.
Even being in Uncle Steve's rooms all those times, you're more of a Christian.
Oh yeah, that sharpens the knife.
What was more believable to you now that you've been on Clubhouse?
That we are all sinners and we all have weaknesses.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not a sinner. No. That's a word made up by you Christian people.
Right. You keep believing that. I'll see you in. No, I won't see you in heaven. Sorry, bud. Sorry.
Yeah, you won't. You won't see me in heaven. You're right.
You think I'll see you in heaven?
But Joby, why do you focus on the negative, which is weakness and the fact that we're sinners? I mean, don't you have anything positive to actually, regurgitate from? If you're such a Christian, can you tell us some of the positive things that Jesus maybe put out? What were the positive things that Jesus tried to tell his disciples so the world might know the intelligence? It's Jesus put out a message. We're all weak and sinners. Great advice, Joby. Great advice.
Take a nap, buddy.
I don't think you're really familiar with evangelists. Don't you think judgment is reserved for God and God alone?
We all stand in judgment, whether we're right or not.
That's reserved for God and God alone.
Exactly. I agree with you. We all do it naturally, whether we want to or not.
Yeah, but that doesn't answer.
Wait a minute.
That's just begging the question, don't you
Let me
think?
put my teeth in for idiot.
Yeah, that doesn't answer the question. It's yes, God reserves judgment, and judgment is reserved for God alone. Why are you judging?
No, it's an individual relationship. Do you have one?
Yeah, I'm Catholic.
Okay, there you go. I do too.
But you're kind of evading the question here. Like, isn't judgment reserved for God and God alone?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So why are you doing it?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but yes.
Well, typically there are some Christians, some flavors and branches of Christianity that come to people with hate. I think if you come to people with hate, that's not a good way to be.
Are you new to Clubhouse? Are you new to Clubhouse?
No, I've been here for a while, but approaching people with hate and speaking about their sin, when you're sinning yourself, is not a good thing to do.
Please don't take me out of context.
Well, I mean, isn't this why judgment is reserved for God and God alone? You should come to people in love.
Yes, I said yes. What do you want me to do? Stand on my head?
We talk about the great benefits of Christianity instead of talking about people's sin. Why don't you talk about like mercy and grace and things like this?
I can. You started. Go ahead.
Yeah, but why don't you do that?
No, don't answer me with a question. Go ahead.
I'm asking why don't you do that? Like, Why do you approach? Why didn't you do that? Because then, like, after you spoke, the first thing I asked you, and I know kind of it gets crowded up here, but I asked, do you think I'm going to heaven? I don't know. I'm asking Joe. Oh, okay.
That's between you and God.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm probably going to heaven then, right? Because I wouldn't choose something bad, right?
If you say so, bud.
I mean, do you think I would choose something bad when I'm dead?
I don't know if you have a say at that point.
Well, wait. What about you? Are you gonna choose? Is it between you and God?
No, he's going to decide based on my relationship with him. I said it 3 times. Are you listening?
Okay. So you think that God's like maybe more pleased with my relationship with him than he is with yours, maybe?
I don't think he cares for individuals.
Oh, he doesn't care about individuals?
All right, stop fucking with me.
Well, it's that easy, folks.
That's how we do it on the roads.
Okay, which part do you having a problem with, Joe? Just let me know.
I'm not answering your questions.
All right.
Bring some content. Bring some content, big boy.
Well, would you like to continue as an adult, or did you want to just dodge and be like this?
I'm not going anywhere.
Do you believe in infancy baptism, or do you think like somebody should be baptized later on in their life when they can choose it?
What Bible are you reading? There's 7 I've read. Which version? King James, NIV, which version are you reading?
Any of them. I'm just asking you.
There you go.
Yeah, any of them. Whatever one you want. What do you think, Joe? Your pick. Go ahead, Joe. Based on your knowledge of the Bible, tell us how that applies. Go ahead. I thought you said you were here for the games. You didn't want to play anymore?
I never said that. Now you're being ridiculous.
You know, honey, I think it goes.
So I'm asking you to just.
Honey, I think it just goes back to the fact that it's a roast, and a lot of people think they know a lot, but they really just don't know half of anything of what they say, and thus, you know, a lot of Christians.
This with a different
Yeah,
attention, dude.
but this is a barbecue, and you know, Joe Blackator, this is your roast. Welcome.
So Joe, does your church do infancy baptism, or do they wait until the person is a certain age to baptize them?
That's an individual choice. It's based on your relationship. Are you going to interrupt me?
There is a choice in that. Okay, wait, so just to clarify, okay, fair enough. I don't want to misrepresent you. So just to clarify, you don't believe in infancy baptism. You have to wait until you develop a relationship with Christ. Is that what you're saying?
No, I did not say that. I'm going to go down and listen because you're not bringing any content here. But thank you for letting me speak.
You're welcome, Joe. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so you get these like different flavors of Christianity where like they don't believe in infancy baptism, which is something that Calvin and even Luther did themselves. But then you get these different flavors in the United States, and then they say, well, a child can't choose to have a relationship with the Lord, so we're not going to do infancy baptism, even though there's clear evidence. You know, even like 1,700 years ago they did this, all the way up to like the protest of the Catholic Church. Calvin and Luther did this. My next question would have been is like, why don't you follow the tradition in such a way? How did they come to this conclusion through interpretation of Scripture to like change the tradition of like baptism? So it's a particular sacrament within the church, and it's like, well, that kind of answers the question there. But like, why are all these different flavors of Christianity? And it's based on like, this is why we have 30,000 different denominations in the United States. You get like this evangelist church, and they do things differently, and their pastor will get a divorce, and they're like, okay, we got to explain this away, so we're going to change a couple of things, and they're not in communion with each other. They're not gonna. That's why there's 30,000 flavors of Christianity.
You're right. It's kind of weird that the all-powerful creator of the universe can't have one consistent message. It's almost like he doesn't exist. People just made it up.
Well, that's in the Bible as well. You're supposed to have like one consistent message is the point.
Well, I know, but to me, the point is, it doesn't seem consistent. It's all over the place.
Well, the reason why this happens is quote mining. You have people that quote mine out of the Bible, so they'll play hopscotch all over the Bible and quote mine, and then make this like potato head style religion and base it. It's just
Probably because God had it in writing, you know, instead of actually just like imagine if the book, like, imagine if you picked it up and you picked it up and everyone who read it, it reached their mind and their understanding in whatever language was their native tongue, right? It just made sense. It was that divine. Like why couldn't that just be the case? You know, it sounds like you're just saying, and this is a poor way to communicate a message.
I mean, not exactly. I think people using their private interpretation of like what said scriptures are devoid of the tradition. It's like when you kind of get into this question.
You're saying like the tradition isn't adequately passed down.
Well, no, it's not inadequately passed down. The most popular branch of Christianity is Catholicism. There's over 1 billion Catholics.
Yeah, but you just said there's like 33,000 denominations, dude.
Yeah, there is, but
it just doesn't sound like God. Because are you saying like God's just not interested in being?
Well, look up the statistics, honey. Like that's.
I just want to know: is the basic claim just getting down to this like reduction that God probably isn't interested in getting his message across clearly within a few thousand years?
Clearly, he's got his message across in a few thousand years.
Yeah, I would disagree. I would disagree that it's clearly been communicated.
But it's
Catholics are 1 billion by the soul.
It's the most popular branch of
Hey, Catholic, listen, you guys converted people by the sword. That's why you have 1 billion people. You exterminated people.
No, that's a Muslim thing.
Oh, you didn't do that in South America? You didn't do that in the coasts of Africa?
No, we're stopping people from cutting other people's heads off and rolling them downstairs because that's crazy.
Put a lot of people to the sword. You're no different than these jihadist Islamist people.
Yeah, we also pushed back dozens of Islamics and sent them packing where they belong.
No, you didn't. You allowed Byzantium to fall because of your raid, and looting.
Sir, are you Jewish?
The reason Byzantium fall is because of the Catholic incursion and your looting. So
I just want to, sir, are you? I know you're gonna start screaming a bunch of things. I just want to know if you're Jewish.
It's not about screaming. It's a fact. You cannot hold Catholicism.
So you're Jewish, right?
Hold on. You spoke. I listened to you, right? So the reason Protestantism and evangelicalism exist. Protestantism and evangelicalism exist because of your malpractice of your cardinals.
I keep asking you the same question.
You're not going to ask me. The reason Protestantism and evangelicalism, Calvinism, Anglicanism exists is because your malpractice of Christianity by your Pope, by your cardinals, and by your false worship of Christianity. Your ruthless, bloodthirsty Pope in Rome. So don't here to lecture about Christianity to other Christians like you are some pious Christian. You are not. Catholicism is the bloodiest Christianity on this planet. You don't follow the teaching of Christ. So stop lying. So don't blame Protestants and evangelicals because they broke off from you, because of your child molestation, your murder, and your other evil practices.
Okay, that's great. Are you Jewish?
Not a Jew.
Yeah, I really don't know where he's coming from with this.
I don't either, but his silence made me think that, no.
Yeah, because if you were just not Jewish, or if you were Jewish, you would just say yes or no. I don't wouldn't just answer the question.
That's fine.
So yeah, so it sounds like basically I'm right. Like that was kind of, I think, more evidence of what I was saying. It's that if I were to just look at the evidence over time, like just the last 5,000 years, let's go deeper. Let's go 100,000. All hominids, all humanoids. Doesn't seem to be the case that God is super interested in being very clear. That's all.
I just want to point out how J4 kept his mouth shut when I muted him so that guy could talk, and he kept his mouth shut the whole time. And I think that should be applauded. Well done, sir.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys want to listen to what he's saying. You guys are hosting the stream, so if you want to listen to what he's saying, this is just rhetoric at the end of the day. He just wants to achieve the goal of making the Catholic Church look bad.
It's not about one. It was just let him speak. No one wanted to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys find what he's saying is important, but I mean, can he?
Yeah, and he's right? I mean, like, Catholicism was spread a lot by violence, right?
So are you going to talk about the good?
Violence and force, right?
Okay, so what about?
And you were making the claim, it seemed like you were trying to separate yourself from other denominations, like the other 32,000, denominations that aren't Catholic in nature, and that you have some semblance of a clear message from God. Is that what you're trying to get to?
Yeah, I can deal with the straw man of it, but I mean, are we?
Well, is that accurate though? Because that's why you were talking. That's what you were saying.
No, it's not accurate.
Well, all I said is that it doesn't seem like it's clear that God is interested in getting his message across clearly. And then you were saying, to counter that, you were saying, well, it's true that most of my people have been having a very clear communication with God. Isn't that kind of what you were saying?
Is that what I said?
Yeah, in a sense. I thought that's what you were saying.
Yeah, it's a straw man, dude. I didn't say
Well, okay, is that disagreeable? Do you not think you're getting a clear message? Because that would just prove my point even further.
Well, how do you know what you know, dude? That's.
Oh, okay. Okay, oh, really? You that early? You're gonna do that quick, dude? Come on.
Really? So you don't know?
Oh, dude, I'm lost, bro. This is too high level for me now, dude. You're like getting really deep.
If you want to straw man like the Catholic Church on the basis of.
No, I'm asking you where's the part you disagree with? I asked you.
Yeah, you're just stereotyping.
Okay, so let me know which part is wrong.
All of it's wrong.
Okay, so you guys don't have the clear communication from God?
No, we didn't go around raping and pillaging.
Wait, do you have clear communication from God? Yes or no?
I mean, I'm trying to talk about the points of this.
Okay, well, we'll go to that next.
Here, how about this? I was Catholic, so I'll entertain you. So do you think that wearing condoms is a sin?
Yeah, conception is bad.
Okay, so that's what they say. Now I left because I didn't agree with their stance. Do you think that that's the right reason to leave?
Well, should you be a slave to your desires and go out and bang every chick that you can and avoid all the consequences of having children?
Why do you think that's my desire?
I was in a married
What a projection, dude.
What's wrong with me wearing a condom? I'm trying to not.
These guys always let us know why they feel so simple.
You don't think there's something wrong with hedonism?
Do you think I should have left the Catholic religion, having not agreed with that stance?
So answer the question. Don't think there's an issue with hedonism?
There's an issue with hedonism.
Oh, not in my life.
There's an issue with hedonism, Jay.
Yeah, you don't think the Catholic prescription doesn't combat hedonism?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. It sounds like they have a lot of ornate things, a lot of money, a lot of pageantry, a lot of high-scale development efforts. Like they have endless resources that are pumping into their little mini state. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they also give those resources to scientific organizations and hospitals.
That's awesome.
Okay, so do you think I should have left the Catholic religion because I disagreed with their stance on the use of condoms?
Am I addressing 3 people at the same time?
Yes. Yes, 4 people.
It's fine. You don't have to answer because we know the answer.
You don't know the answer. I'm saying you don't think that the Catholic prescription combats hedonism, and do you think hedonism is a great philosophy to have?
Condom had nothing to do with hedonism.
And who cares, Jay? What is your point, dude? What are you getting to?
I just think you guys don't know what hedonism is.
Look, I know what hedonism is. That's why I said there's a problem with it, which Jefferson seemed not to want to just say, there's a problem with hedonism. So the fuck what?
Why are you speaking for Jefferson? Let him speak for himself.
I'm trying to speed this up a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay.
He's a bit white.
Well, I mean, he answered you.
No, he didn't.
He said he had a problem with it, personally.
I can't hear what everybody's saying when they're speaking all at once.
Okay, let's just grant it. There's a problem with hedonism. and the Catholics try to slow down the approach to life in a hedonistic manner. Is that your claim?
No, my claim would actually be, let's just grant that it's all made up. There is no magic sky dad.
Wait, you don't want to focus on what you were saying after all that?
Are you gonna like let me talk, or are you just gonna?
You're just a rambler. You just jump around.
I got 3 people fucking rambling at me. That's
Dude,
okay.
we're still on the same topic. I was trying to get your position, and you didn't want to get it.
What? So let me fucking give you my position.
You're just such a dodger, dude. You're not really a Catholic.
Didn't I just sit there and listen to some guy fucking rant so you guys can sit there and go, fucking stereotype this thing, yeah.
No. I'm just saying, like, look, you're telling me. Are you saying that the Romans didn't help spread Christianity by force?
No, they didn't spread Christianity by force. They were persecuted. They were persecuted by the Romans.
Like they were.
Yeah, they were.
And then they weren't, right?
Yeah. Did they have any reason?
Do you think the Catholics? Do you think the Spanish?
Like, why on earth would a bunch of Romans follow a Jewish guy that died on a cross? Why would they do that?
Because they wanted it to be Christianity.
Okay, so doesn't that defeat like this whole concept of like the Christians went around forcing people to be fucking Christian when they were persecuted?
No, I'm saying that. Look. Let's just ditch that. You're right. Okay, there was no force involved. Okay, is that what your claim is? No force involved.
That's not what my claim is.
Okay, well then never mind. Let's just ditch it. We're at a stalemate.
Every 5
We're at a
seconds.
stalemate. No. We're at a stalemate. Next one.
No, we're not at a stalemate. You keep contradicting.
Okay, then what? Okay, then I take it back. I was wrong. You're right. Okay. Next one.
So let me address
Spanish.
Jefferson now. I want to clarify something with him.
I just granted it to you. I just conceded. I gave you the win, dude.
Okay, so let me.
The Romans didn't spread Christianity by force.
Let me talk to Jefferson now.
John,
Okay.
first, I have no problem with hedonism. It wasn't a problem for me.
Oh, see, didn't Honey just contradict you and say that yes, there is a problem with hedonism? Now you're saying no, there isn't.
Wait, are you saying that it's sometimes when these conversations get
This is what happens when you let other people speak for you, man. So you don't think there's an issue with hedonism?
Didn't I just correct the statement? Go on.
So which one is it?
I don't care about hedonism. It wasn't a problem for me.
See, there you go, Honey. Dude, so you
Great. Okay, so now you understand this position. Now what?
Okay, so you don't think the Catholic prescription, even if it was fake, even if it was all made up, has a good effect on society by reducing the effects of hedonism, chasing our desires for pleasure that have long-term consequences to it? You don't think that prescription is good for society?
I don't think that. No, I don't think that there's positive and negatives, right? You're gonna say that all the other bad stuff that they did, you can't just have both ways.
So you don't think the prescription of like maintaining some sort of boundary in relationships where people aren't constantly chasing these hedonistic pleasure, desire, values to reduce what is that? The fuck is that? Give me a second.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Do you have a problem with the Catholic Church hiding pedophile priests all over the globe? For how long? See how that works?
Do you see how that works? Okay, thank you. Do you see how it works when we have institutions like governments? The church is an institution in itself comparably. And let's just grant, like I said, let's pretend for a minute it's all fake, it's all fucking made up. It has a good effect on society, right? Don't governments have good effects on society?
Yes, some level.
Okay, can the government
Yeah, same thing with religion, dude. Why is this like new news? I was trying to get you to tell me if you communicated clearly with God.
You know government
is a bigger picture item that you're dodging, which is hilarious.
So you don't want to listen to the explanation. You just want to.
The explanation for what? What are you describing to us now? That's so deep.
Corruption of institutions can be corrupted and privy to corruption.
Of course. Yeah.
So you know that. What's your problem?
So then, what's your point?
The point is this one fucking sour apple spoil the whole fucking bunch?
No. There's plenty of churches and plenty of dioceses like that, right?
No, there's plenty of fucking Democrats that do that.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a bunch of fucked up shit. What about it?
Exactly. We can agree on
Yeah, but okay, so let's just get to the bigger picture item then. So, are you claiming that Catholics have a clear...
apples in there? Does it spoil the whole fucking bunch? Is every person...
I already said no.
Okay.
So
let's move on now. So we agree.
Okay, so here, let's get back to the bigger subject. Okay? So, do you believe that as a Catholic, you're receiving a clearer message from God than other denominations?
Yes.
And what would that be? What differentiates you? What piece of information can you share with us now?
Because there's no private interpretation.
Okay, what's the piece of information that you're getting more clearly than
Just
other
sat here and like invited up another Christian on here that had a bunch of shoes as his PTR, pretending as if he's not sending some kind of a Nazi Christian nationalistic message, which I think is completely fucking psychotic.
Yeah, you destroyed him, dude.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's all about.
Okay, so what is the piece of information that you guys have more clearly figured out?
Private interpretation of said scripture. He's gonna sit here and try to talk.
Why are you talking about someone who's not in the room?
It's an example.
Well, I'm asking you a question. Just give me the information really quick.
Funny.
You don't want to provide the information quickly?
We can't use examples now.
So you don't want to provide the information of what you get better than other denominations?
Let me ask you some questions now. How about that?
No, I want you to answer that one, and then I'll answer anything you want.
Okay, what do you want me to answer?
The same question I asked you 7 times.
Can you ask it again, please? You asked a bunch.
What piece of information do you think you've gleaned as a Catholic in particular that differentiates you from the knowledge base of another denomination that you think is inferior?
Okay, history for an example. They don't believe in Constantinople. They don't believe in the Council of Nicaea. They don't recite the Nicene Creed. They don't maintain the tradition, even though it's been maintained for about 1,200 years before the Protestant Reformation, when they rejected the Catholic Church, and then Luther threw out First and Second Maccabees for an example, which is part of the scripture. And then you had a Scottish branch of Christianity that threw out the Apocrypha. So they don't even know what any of these books are. So they can take the printing press and shorten up the book. That's how they get the King James Version. I mean, King James didn't really even do much. I don't even know why they call it the KJV.
Okay, I agree. So now, what's the piece of information though that you guys have better?
It's lots of information that these guys.
Give me the best one, because you've told me all this history stuff. I can't look. I'm not as quick as you, and I can't really track conversations as well as you can. So I'm trying to figure out just the simple, like, dumb this down for me, dude. What is the information that you've gleaned as a Catholic that someone who is a Protestant or Reformed or whatever the hell they are, all of those, Presbyterian, Lutheran,
listen,
what piece of information have you guys figured out that makes the communication more clear?
Pay attention. There's a heavy base going back to 1,700 years ago based on tradition. This is what the early church fathers did. And based on their private interpretation, they disregard all of these things. That's why I was asking that other lady here, Joe, as an example, do you do infancy baptism? She didn't want to answer that question.
Right, she didn't. Yep.
Why? Because it's private interpretation.
Do you need to be baptized to take on the Holy Spirit?
All children should be baptized. You can choose.
Is it required? Can the Holy Spirit be dwelling within me or around me or whatever the relationship is without being baptized?
Part of the sacrament. Infant baptism.
Is it impossible for the Holy Spirit to be within me without being baptized?
To be honest, man, I don't know. I can go look it up for you.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. Yeah, because you didn't want to answer directly, and then when you answered directly, you said I don't know. So you could have just said I don't know right at the beginning, right?
Dude, you asked me a bunch of fucking questions now.
I'm gonna ask you the same question in 3 different ways because you were dodging.
No, you didn't ask me the same question.
I asked you if the Holy Spirit could only be within me through a baptism. That's all I asked. That's all I've asked you.
Dude, let's be clear here. You asked me 20 questions, not the same one in a variety of ways. You asked me multiple questions in dozens of ways.
Okay, which one did you want to address next then? If I asked you so many.
I don't know, dude. Like, there's so fucking.
Well, just pick one of the dozens. Pick one of the dozens.
Hold on. Let's be clear here. When you said, I'm going to ask you this last one, and I get to ask you one.
I want you to pick from the dozens that you said.
Didn't let me ask you a question afterwards. You asked me 3 more.
You're not even like playing chess with me, dude. You're like starting a chess game and you're like playing like how Darren Brown plays against 9 dudes. That's what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, you just don't want to finish a game. You just want to like engage in these little mini battles over pawns and fucking bishops, and then you like move to another table or something. It's weird.
I wonder what his question is.
Technically, I am moving to 3 different tables. I had 3 people dogpiling me. I mean, isn't that what I'm doing? That's a good, accurate description.
No, you're not really. You're not dealing with 3 different people, dude.
Well, one of them just left, but now it's 2 of them.
Dude, that guy did a rant and shut up a half hour ago, bro.
More like 10 minutes ago.
Who cares?
Okay, so let's.
So we're still talking about you and your meta. That's all we're doing is talking about you and your meta.
You and my meta. Okay, great.
Yeah. So do you want to answer a question directly?
I've answered all of your questions directly.
Okay. So you don't know if baptism is necessary, correct?
So weren't you going to answer one of my questions, and now you asked me another one? You asked me 3 of them. You said you would answer one of mine, right?
What's your question?
Okay. Why do you care?
About your position?
Yeah.
To expose how silly this fucking shit is? Nothing more.
To expose how silly it is? Is that what you think you're doing?
Yeah.
You really think you're exposing how silly my position is?
Okay, how many times do you need to hear an affirmative response to a question I ask? Just give me a number and I'll keep coming up with answers that are synonymous with yes.
You don't think you're exposing yourself when you're constantly straw man.
Oh no, I'm roasting myself as well.
Fair enough.
Notice how he just answered the questions? That's interesting.
Yeah, I answered a billion of your questions. I only asked 1.
Okay, so of those billions, what's the next one you want to answer?
So your goal, your rhetoric is to achieve that my position, you're trying to expose my position as false. That's what you're doing, right?
Okay, well, look, I'll give you back the dozens instead of the billions. I know that's big. Of the dozens you mentioned, what would you like to answer?
I answered all of them.
Okay, can you just give me the top 3 answers you gave?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I don't think you know much. I think you're just good at rhetoric.
You think well, aren't you just isn't this rhetoric? Isn't this a means?
Yeah, no, I admit it. I'm good at it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not good at it.
No, I am. I'm good at it.
Really?
Yeah, dude, look, I'm not gonna beat you like a Christian and like a liar. I don't get this shit. Like, what the fuck?
You don't think like being a you're building straw houses, dude, right? You don't think like sitting here burning my worldview down based on straw means is gonna achieve your goal?
Okay, which did I straw man?
Every single bit of it.
You can never provide anything substantive. It's funny.
You don't think right now the means and the goals that you're using right now to achieve this is not rhetoric?
It's so easy, dude. Look, I'm not bragging. Right? This isn't a brag fest.
Uh-huh.
So what do you think you've provided?
Historical evidence? I mean, you can go look this
Historical evidence for what?
The Catholic Church.
Catholic Church what? That it exists?
We weren't just sitting here talking about something of substance for like the past 10 minutes. Now
in a more, yeah, I guess so. So what do you want to talk about now?
No, I don't know what you're talking about now.
Well, what are your questions? I mean, if you want to know more things, I'll answer them.
All right, cool. Do you look at the world and through like, are you a subjectivist? Do you believe in subjective morality?
Yeah.
Okay. So you base things on your opinions, your emotions, your feelings, and your preferences, right?
Yeah, just like you.
Okay. Well, no, I don't. My preference.
Oh, you don't do that?
No, I don't. My preferences.
Okay. Why would you lie? I don't understand why you lie right out of the gate instead of just like slowing down, right? When something comes back at you like that, like yeah, just like you. Instead of going, oh, you don't do that. Why don't you guys go?
Okay.
So you know what? I gotta think about that. You know, you may be right.
Why?
You may be right. I maybe do that sometimes. You know?
Stop spurting, dude. Relax. Calm down. Okay. So if your preferences, your feelings, and opinions are valid, right? Don't you think my feelings, preferences are equally valid as yours?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah. So how am I wrong?
I never said you were, did I?
So why are you trying to expose my position as wrong if my
about God and stuff? Yeah, that's easy because it's just being stupid. Yeah.
Aren't those my preferences? Aren't they equally as valid as your preferences?
No.
Not necessarily.
So why is it wrong?
Because I never said it was wrong. I'm just trying to figure out your position.
Yeah, you're trying to expose my position position as wrong.
No, silly.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah, silly. Yeah, your position is silly.
Yeah, so what? Your position
That's it. Like I told you, dude, this isn't deep. I'm not like trying to brag right now.
Really, it is that deep because you're trying to expose my position as something that's wrong or silly, right? And you're
I believe it's wrong, and I think it's pretty evident that it is. Yeah.
Okay. So aren't you entitled to your own preferences equally?
Yeah, and I think mine is accurate, and I think yours is incorrect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your opinion. That's
why I'm on Clubhouse.
Okay, so my opinion's the same opinion as yours.
No. I don't think an invisible boss tells anyone what to do, or had his son killed so he could like you more. I don't believe that story, dude. You do. That's not my.
So my preferences are equally as valid as yours if I think you're silly if you don't believe it.
Yeah, you can think I'm silly for sure.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and I would just say that my actual opinions about the subject matter are more accurate than yours, and you can find them silly if you like.
How can they be more accurate if your preferences are equally as valid as mine and my opinions and my feelings and my emotions?
Well, that's why we talk about it and expose it. That's what I'm doing. You get this, dude. Why are you acting like you don't get it?
That your preferences are equally as valid as mine?
Look, are you like, do you think you're providing new information right now or something compelling?
It is compelling. Why would I be wrong if I'm
as
valid as you are? Why would it be wrong?
Dude, invite some Muslims or Christians in here, dude, because you're just like kind of stagnating.
Yeah, dude, I get it. You can't answer the question, can you?
What was the question?
The question isn't my preferences and opinions equally as valid as yours?
No.
Right?
No.
So your feelings and preferences are not valid? Your subjective morality is not valid?
No, mine is more valid than yours. You asked if they were equal.
More valid? Explain that.
Well, that's what we're exposing right now.
How your subjective preferences, feelings, emotions, and opinions more valid?
Yep.
Explain that.
Okay. If I feel that the evidence supports that conscious states exist where nervous systems and brains reside, okay? Like conscious states of like awareness, not just base level, but also I'll even just give it intention. I'm intending to do this with a pseudo short-term purpose, right? Whatever you want to say. You can make that as long of a purpose as you want. Any kind of intentional state. I believe that the evidence supports that a nervous system and a brain are required, or some kind of physical substrate. I'll even just go that shallow about it. It's just merely a physical substrate. Now, if you want to say trees are conscious, fine. That's a physical substrate. So in order to have some kind of intention or conscious state of being, I believe that the evidence supports that we have that tied to a physical substrate. And we don't have evidence otherwise. Now, if you want to present evidence otherwise, that would be great, and that's what you claim your God is. So I'm already out of the gate at a loss.
That's great.
Like you just explained.
Okay, yeah, that's great, honey. An unreasonable segue into a different topic of discussion has nothing to do with why your preferences are righter than my preferences. Your subjective feelings, mental states.
Regarding what? Regarding what?
Regarding you trying to expose my position as silly.
Okay, I explained my part. Now, give me an example of something.
No. You still haven't explained to me why I'm wrong, based on my preferences. If it's your preference that it's my preference that you're wrong. Who's wrong? You still haven't explained that. You just went to some tangent about like your mental states and attitudes about like some substrate.
Are you? Is my mic turned off? Can you hear me?
I don't know, dude. I think your brain's turned off.
Hold on a second. Ron or somebody, can someone confirm that I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Oh, okay. So he's just talking over me. Okay. Listen, Jay. I think you're incorrect in your feelings and preferences regarding the evidence that we have for how conscious states exist in our shared reality.
Okay, I think the same thing.
If you want to demonstrate... Wait, hold on. I'm not done. You did all that to get me talking. So I'd like you to demonstrate that you have some evidence that shows that your God is something we should even consider as being possible.
You're the one that claimed that your preferences, your emotions, your subjective morality is more correct than mine. When it's equally as valid as my own. It's not more correct, and you're not demonstrating.
I am demonstrating it. I just gave you the background.
No, you're not. Okay, talking about your feelings, emotions, and attitudes and opinions, dude. You're mental.
Okay, well, here, give me an example of something that isn't something that we can consider together, and we'll see how our feelings and preferences apply to it. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is that my feelings,
contradiction in what I said?
The contradiction is that you're saying that your preferences are more right than my preferences, even though I'm saying no, our preferences are equally valid. That's
Regarding
the
what?
point.
Regarding the God concept, right?
Regarding all your mental states.
No. I was very specific. I said, here's what I'm addressing right now. Now you
Regarding your mental states, attitudes, and
I said my mental states, my feelings, my opinions, my attitudes, my
Can I ask, try to follow
all that, dude.
Howdy, I'd like to ask J4 a question. I'm trying to follow this. I'm not sure if I'm following what he's saying. Are you saying that your feeling that God exists is valid or as valid as any feeling that Honey has?
I'm saying that if he has a subjective preference, he has subjective morality, he bases things on his mental states, attitudes, opinions, feelings, and emotions, and he's claiming that's valid. Okay, that's great. And I'm saying, don't you think that my feelings, attitudes, mental states, and subjective opinions are equally as valid as his? And he's saying, no, mine are more right than yours. That makes no sense. That's a contradiction.
You were pretty vague there for the question.
I explained it to you.
I was just going to say, are you going to answer his question?
I clarified. He wants to know what the position.
Yeah, what's your position? Do you think that ours are equally valid?
Yeah, our feelings and mental states and attitudes and opinions are equally valid.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll just concede that. Okay, now what?
Okay, we're finished here.
That's it? You just don't, that's all you want to say?
Thank you for
that. Funny.
Dude, these guys, it's so fun. That's so fun, dude. It's like shooting from the hip. Like,
talking about a conversation that went absolutely over.
Yeah, dude. Like, he doesn't want to talk about anything. He knows that he's just some dude thinking about shit.
Now you once you see it happens, they know they can't demonstrate their beliefs. They just.
Well, what he can't do is
try to go into some indirect conversation.
Emotions are more right than mine. That's what he can't do, and that's what he's claiming.
He just gave it to you, and you had no.
Yeah, I picked a subject to apply that attitude toward, and I gave you a perfect, clean example succinctly and, illustratively, and you had nothing to say about it. And then you went off on something else again, and I just granted it. And then here we are. So basically, my real opinion still stands. I think yours is inadequate, or you're just dishonest.
No, you're just contradicting yourself. You're saying that your preferences, feelings, emotions, or mental states are valid. And then you're saying that mine are granted as well. They're equally as valid, but then you're saying mine is more
for the
right.
sake of the argument.
And I would say.
Yeah, you're saying that your feelings in subjective morality.
Yeah, we're equal. That's how I tried to start it. Remember when we started that? Remember how at the very beginning? Remember at the very beginning? Listen, I'm gonna refresh you. I always do this, so I know I did this. At the very beginning, when we started talking like this, let me fucking finish, dude. When we started talking about this, the very first thing I said is just like you do. I said I do it just like you do, and you started cracking away. Oh, you don't do it like I do it. That's what you started doing, dude. And now you're trying to argue the opposite. It's fucking maniacal shit.
That doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah, I've told you enough, dude.
Dude, that doesn't describe anything like the conversation.
Okay, here, describe what you've described so far. Go ahead.
The position is that you're saying that your subjective morality is valid. Your feelings, attitudes, opinions, all of these different things, they're all valid, right? And then I'm saying, well, don't you think my opinions, feelings, emotions on a subjective morality basis are equally as valid as yours? And you're saying yes, but mine are more right than yours.
Right. Some things are factual, yeah.
Making it not equal and valid.
Well, they're equally valid out of the gate, and then when we talk about it, like I told you, because it's a process, remember? We have to figure out what you're actually saying. And then when we hear what you actually say, like I told you, I'm just exposing how silly it is.
No, you just exposed yourself as being silly because you're saying my subjective attitudes are more right than yours.
Yeah, on some instances, yeah, they are.
How you have yet to explain that?
Well, here, I'll give you one that maybe hits a little closer to home. Do you observe the Bible as any kind of guidance in your life?
Stop asking me questions and explain it.
Okay. Well, in your favorite book that you like, that all those guys in the costumes pitched at you when you were a little kid.
It's not an argument.
Well, I'm just lining this up so you know what I'm referring to. So you know what I'm referring to, right? The Bible. You know about that book? I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, you know about a bunch of atheists that you can look up on YouTube. So what? You take that?
All right, I'll just let Jeff just take over because he has his hand up. Because
Yeah, he's just a waste of time. That's all.
I just wanted to know, so is there some exhaustive list of things we're supposed to do and not to do? Like, I want to know all, but where's the list?
Do you want to take on Honey's argument here, or like, are you just trying to segue into something else now?
Argument. I was just wondering about the morality thing. Like, I mean, you use your opinion too. I use my opinion. I judge things and I make moral decisions accordingly. Do you have some list that tells you what to do, or do you just make up your own mind?
So let's be clear here, right? If you have your own prescriptions based on your personal preferences, right? Your subjective morality, right? And all of that is valid. Every single bit of it is valid. Let's just grant that. Okay. So let's say Christianity is made the fuck up. It's been made up for 2,000 years. There is no magic sky daddy. It's all fake, right? Why is it less valid if I have my own subjective morality that says my feelings, my preferences, my opinions say I can go by this? What makes it less valid than yours?
we figured it out through conversation.
I mean, you not like you did. You don't want to focus on the topic. Jefferson only. You got
I don't know.
Yeah, I got cooked.
So we both have our opinion about these things. I'm agreeing with that. It's subjective. I'm making subjective decisions. So do you.
Okay, so it goes back to the question: why the fuck do you guys even care about fucking Christianity?
You say stupid shit.
Same reason there's politicians. Why do you ask representatives? Like, what do you think this is? Are you like, why? Where do you live? Like in a hole? Like a little tiny hole? What is this?
If it's all equally valid, if all of these opinions and subjective morality, feelings, and emotions and stuff is equally valid to yours, then why do you care if it's all equally valid? Right?
It's like,
Honey, I think you guys are like Christians.
yeah, he's just unwilling.
What he's saying makes no sense at all. Okay? I think it makes no sense at all because I'm trying to ask a question so I'll be able to answer. Okay, subjective feelings about morality, okay, could be. It's not something that's valid, it's not valid. It's dependent on the human. Right? So if you talk about morality itself, but if you're talking about the belief in God, that's not the same thing as subjective morality.
Did you see that? Did you catch the trick here? Like, he opened up in his first sentence, right, and made a point about how, okay, wait a minute, then he tricked himself. He's like, oh, you know what, man, maybe I shouldn't go down that and start talking about something else. Let's just talk about subjective feelings and attitudes and mental states about the world. Let's start with that, dude.
Yeah, I think I think your subjective feelings are equal.
Are my mental states
equally as valid?
Okay, thank you. Then why the fuck do you care about that?
Oh, because you guys say that you hear from invisible bosses that I don't think exist.
Why do
so
you care about that if it's equally as valid?
Oh, because you guys affect policy and
No, we don't affect anything.
Oh, you don't?
We're a secular society.
Oh, you don't?
Separate church.
Oh, you don't?
Separate church.
Okay. Oh, really? So you guys don't have much power then?
No, not on a biblical basis.
Oh, okay. So there's nothing going on with like I don't know, reproductive health or anything.
I don't know. Did we ban abortion in this country, or did we?
I don't know, dude. I mean, you guys are in a lot of countries, so I don't
See
know.
how we have to have this conversation without unreasonably segueing it into a discussion about something.
Dude, I'm literally just following your stupid rap.
J4, are you just saying that you believe in God because you feel God is true? Is that?
No, what I'm saying is that if you have an attitude or a mental state or some sort of like concept of subjective morality, and you base it on your emotions, feelings, opinions, and mental states, and you think that's valid, let's just grant on the opposite paradigm, all of it is fucking fake, right? Isn't it equally fucking valid to your subjective feelings, opinions, and emotions and mental states of the other person?
I'm not sure where you're adding the word valid there because like, if I have a feeling or I have a subjective morality, there's nothing valid about it. It's dependent on how I feel. There's no fact-based exist?
Really? You don't think
That's not the same thing.
No,
That's not the same thing as subjective morality. I don't know what you're
Okay. Subjectively, right? Subjectively, I don't want you doing harm to me. We can all collectively come together subjectively based on our feelings. We don't like pain. Right. And collectively say, oh, I don't like the feeling and sensation of pain.
Right.
We can all
Then we make our morals and ethics.
So there is something back from that, right?
Right.
That's a good example, right? So now let's get back to the point, right?
Are you saying that your feeling God exists, so that's valid? Is that what you're saying? You just
Although what I'm saying is let's just grant that it's all fucking.
Why don't you just answer the specific question I'm asking?
Because it's not important. Because you're trying to evade and dodge the
I'm
fucking.
not dodging it. I'm trying to ask a specific question.
The topic is subjective morality.
Why don't you just kick him?
Okay, so subjective morality. So let's look at something. What do you want to look at? What do you want to analyze? Murdering people?
Together on the basis of subjective morality being.
Hi, I'd like to just interrupt. You guys have been going on for a long time, repeating the same shit over and over again. This fucking loser, I just want to let you know, you guys are all being rebroadcast in my room called Stupid Low IQ People Talking About Nothing. Thank you all very little.
Piss master over here that worships the guy from the golden age of dawn over there. Go get a golden shower, buddy, just like Aleister Crowley.
Okay, Jay, so we have the same subjective morality is what you're saying, right?
Dude fucking worships Aleister Crowley.
Hey, can you hear me, Jay? Jay, can you hear me?
No, I can hear you, man. What's
Okay.
up?
So you and I observe the same level of subjective morality? Is that what you're arguing for?
No, I'm arguing for subjective morality. Because on the basis, I'm trying to reach you on your level here, right?
Yeah, I just said that.
I'm actually poking a flaw.
Okay, now make a point.
The contradiction of your logic here is that if you think your feelings, your subjective morality, right? Your feelings, your mental states, and attitudes are all fucking valid, right? How about
as much as yours are, right?
Exactly. So how can your
feelings yours are valid?
How can yours be more right than mine? How can your shit be more valid than mine?
Yeah, we would talk about it.
So you don't own any moral high ground, is that right? We're equal. We're on the same plateau.
Yeah, so why the fuck do you care about proving that my Magic Sky Daddy is wrong now? What's so important about it? It's equally as valid.
It's entertaining.
At least you're honest about it. It's entertaining.
That's why I tell you that's why I do it. I'm here to spar people like you, dude. It's fun.
Well,
not first. It's a fucking troll.
Is this the first time you've been at your own roast? No, this is your roast. Welcome to your roast. You're also in my room. It's called We Roast the Low IQ Dumb People of Clubhouse Who Waste Their Time and Talk About Nothing.
He's my audio director, Jay. That's wonderful. You don't think a lot of people base their worldviews on subjective opinions and attitudes and all these things? Why do people constantly stereotype each other? That's not important. Yeah, I get that. You don't think that's an important thing? We ought not do that.
Okay, so where's the exhaustive list of things we're supposed to not do and do?
Well, for starters, you don't think it would make sense to say, like, instead of walking into a conversation with a stereotype and misrepresenting this person and making a troll or a meme out of the person in a stereotypical fashion because it's fun to do for entertainment, don't you think we should, I don't know, man, further and benefit the world and have a serious discussion?
Yeah, that's the whole point I've been saying. I say we talk about it, right?
No, that's not what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I granted it up front at the very beginning. Okay, listen, I'm going to do this again. It's like an exercise, and I'm the professor now. It's so easy. At the very beginning, I told you, I'm willing to say that I'm doing the same thing you are. And you are, oh, no, like a Muslim, right? And then you start jibber-jabbering for like the last 30 minutes. And we're back here, and I've conceded everything. I've said that, yes, our suspicions, our intuitions, our feelings, right, our motivators, whatever this stuff is valid equally, right? And then I said, if it needs to go further, we'll talk about it. And if it needs to go further, we'll see who's actually
saying it now
or correct.
It to me because you're wrong.
Yeah, I've been saying this the whole time. I haven't changed any of the words either.
You've been arguing with me the whole time, and you realized, oh shit, I'm fucking wrong, and I'm like
about what?
Violating the person because you're
I've been agreeing with everything you said. What part do you think I disagree with? What part do you think I disagree with?
So if you recall, right, what didn't you say?
What part do you think I disagree with?
My subjective morality is better than your subjective morality.
No, it's not better.
You don't have to. Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, in certain instances, and the one that I directly
in all instances, it's not better. It's just equally invalid as mine. So why the fuck do you care to make my position look silly when your position is equally
because it's
as silly and as invalid as fucking mine?
Because this is your roast.
Like you ever go to
Jay, welcome to your barbecue, dude.
Dude, you got fucking roasted. You got cooked up.
Tasty honey badger. Come on, man. You don't believe that, do you?
Nah, he's a good thespian. He knows he said nothing. He knows his Catholicism is just a sect of trendy things that happened around him as a child, if he's even a Catholic. And I can vouch for the same thing. I went to Catholic shit. You know, went to CCD.
It's funny, he said the thing about tradition, 1700 years, whatever. What did the people do before that? Like, they just aren't part of the club? Because they were born too early? Like for 100,000 years.
I don't know, dude. You tell me. What were they doing?
Country and gathering, probably. They didn't give a fuck about no God person thing.
Jay, I mean, the thing I find the most fascinating about people who want to be so eager to tell us what religion they're a part of is that they're expecting me to believe that their mental states regarding one of the most important things in the universe, if not the, is like shared by other men with them. Like they have the same vision of God and understanding. It's like, what the fuck is this, dude? Are you guys like on crack? It's so hokey, you know? It's like, oh, good for you.
Yeah. You know what? I agree with you. You know what? Men who call themselves atheists that believe in the secular humanist manifesto, and you're gonna sit there and you said COVID-19 was not the biggest fucking blunder based on scientific observation and statistics. We're gonna lock people in their fucking houses, even though we have no evidence to suggest that while we're locking them in their fucking houses, it's gonna draw back the spread of COVID. Never did that though. People were locked in their houses. It's still
why did you atheist? I don't get it.
Wasn't he kind of strong man? Because I don't believe any of that stuff he said.
Yeah, why did he even say that? Because there's mostly Christians that are Trumpers going, yeah.
Oh, you guys weren't talking about a collective of men? Why can't I talk about a collective of
There's
fucking men?
more Trumpers than atheists in the country, dude.
What do you mean there's more Trumpers than atheists? What the
Just
fuck?
that alone. Like, why are you even bringing an atheist to the vaccine
Okay,
conversation?
now we're going to jump to another subject now and have another unreasonable segue. Yeah, here's another unreasonable segue into it. So you don't even want to deal with the proposition.
I didn't even make a segue. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You want to talk about vaccines now?
We're just talking about a collective of Christians, and then I'm going to talk about a collective of fucking scientists who believe that they're secular humanists that make decisions based on scientific rhetoric, which was COVID-19.
Okay.
Scientific study, rhetoric? How did we get these phones?
Are you dumb? Are you guys fucking dumb?
Dumb.
Yes, Jay, I am dumb. You know that. So, why'd you ask? Jay, all you've been doing is like saying that you're a Catholic and you guys have a better understanding of shit, and then running from Catholic statistics, which are just that like Catholic schoolgirls are naughty, nuns are mean and violent, right? Like you guys have a really bad rap, dude, and that's just in social media.
Oh, that's
movies,
great. We're gonna
Hollywood.
talk about the other benefits of Catholicism, like I don't know, giving charities to scientific organizations. The 30,000 denominations in the United States don't do that because they think science opposes religion. I mean, if these people have this value called the fucking truth, they wouldn't want to oppose the truth of the facts of the fucking reality that we live in. But the Catholic Church donates to dozens of scientific organizations.
It's great.
They
Dude,
donate
the
to
Catholic
fucking
Church built
hospitals.
a lot of missions, which
To
are really
fucking
nice for the native
liberal
peoples to
fucking
look up
colleges
to.
that idiots like you fucking go to, but we're not gonna talk about
Right.
that.
College or technical
Right.
college.
I would have gone to Pepperdine if I could, dude, or fucking Santa Cruz. Well, maybe not Santa Cruz, but maybe Pepperdine. Like, I would have gone to like some cool school on the beach, dude, that the missionaries got there, you know? Why not?
Didn't they go to Africa and give out condoms, telling people that condoms were bad, and they spread AIDS all over the place? Didn't they do that, Catholic Church? I think they did. They went telling them that stuff about condoms being a sin.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Their whole thing, they're all wrapped up in sex. It's all like voodoo magic shit. Blood stuff, Mary, virgins. It's fucking weird. Oh yeah, they eat God. You guys eat God, Jay. It's fucking bizarre shit, man.
Don't get that part.
Okay, let's try something new for a change.
It's like a pageant.
I want you and
So much
your
pageant.
whole fucking hold on. Let's do this, right? Let's examine this
Like
real
goth. It's like a goth
Go
pageant,
Google,
right?
go and Google and look up why do Catholics take the Holy Eucharist? And you're gonna find that it's not cannibalism. You're gonna find that this is like the presence of Christ with these people, right?
Yeah.
So I implore everybody in here.
Dude, I implore you to research the depth of this beautiful story.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful, dude.
Of course you're not gonna do that though.
It's gorgeous. What
that.
a gorgeous tale.
Well, so one of the things that I love about
So here's the funny thing.
the Spanish
You
colonization.
hear about like the lie, right? You're lying to yourself when you say shit like this. Then when you go and look it up, it doesn't say that's what we're doing.
So one of the things that I love about Spanish colonization of the Americas, and I'm being really sarcastic because no one should love that, but the Spanish monks at first were like trying to bridge the gap between them and the indigenous people. And so they were like, hey, your guys' religion's a blood-based religion. Guess what? We are a blood-based religion as well. See, we're just the same. And, it's important to point that out, that Catholicism is a blood religion, right? It deals in blood magic. Like, that's just...
Dude, it's so deep.
I mean...
Dude, it's so deep and magical and beautiful.
It's more a representation of the time that it came from.
Yeah, it's mortality, dude. It's like they're it's very, very easy to see what's going on. It's shit, man.
Wait a minute. Last time I checked, aren't you guys like a bunch of moral relativists based on your subjective preferences?
Yeah, same as you.
Yeah, we are moral relativists.
Okay. So, like, what's wrong with that then?
Well, I'm
judging
it.
So
on
let's say
what
you're saying is true.
So we're just going to interrupt
each other. Be a moral relativist at the time.
Each other, and I'll just say whatever I want to say.
You be a moral relativist.
And then you're going to say whatever you're going to say, and no one's going to be able to listen to anything.
Okay, so you're going to be a moral relativist.
So are you going to be a jackass this whole time? Because everyone can be a jackass back.
Why are you getting mad, dude?
Oh, I'm not mad. Why are you getting mad? You sound kind of pissed.
How many Christians impacted your life today, Ben?
How many Christians?
Hi, everybody. I just want to interrupt and say the word moral relativist for like the 50th time. I don't know, maybe the past 15 minutes. Oh, can I say subjective, objectivity, objective, subjectivity, and subjective moralism, and moralism, subjectivity? Because I just want to keep using these terms and talk about nothing all day because I have a schizophrenic problem. I don't go to the gym, and I just come here to talk all the time about nothing because low IQ dumb people spend all their time talking about nothing on this fucking air.
Okay, great. Pissmaster. Anyway, dude, so aren't you a moral relativist?
I think that the world itself is morally relativistic, right? But it doesn't mean I don't judge people based on what I consider to be moral, right or wrong.
Yeah, based on your preferences and feelings and attitudes. I get that.
Yeah. Okay. So then what's the problem?
So why do you guys give a shit if my preferences are equally invalid and equally as moral as yours?
Oh, because it impacts our lives negatively.
And how does it impact your life negatively?
Oh, well, there are a lot of people in Congress that are religiously crazy, that are imposing their religious beliefs through law on other people.
You're just making claims. That's not. You're just making claims, dude. Cut the nonsense. What are they actually doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna be a bitch today. Cool. Well, then I'm just gonna treat you like a bitch. Okay? You asked a question. I was in the process of answering. You couldn't fucking help yourself but interrupt. And now you're saying that my answer is not good enough for you. Well, that's too
I'm
fucking
saying
bad,
just making
Buttercup.
you're just claiming. You're making an assertion with no
That is
evidence
the
whatsoever.
fact. We give a shit about religion because you motherfuckers decide.
You're not telling me anything.
Child, what do you want?
You just sound like you're complaining.
Child, what do you want?
Are you gonna complain some more?
It sounds like you're complaining. Are you gonna
Right. Claims and assertions without evidence can be easily dismissed without it. You're dismissed.
You're not a principal, dude. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
We'll just keep it substantive. Like, what are you guys discussing even?
I mean, he's just sucking his own dick over here, so I don't know what.
Isn't he just complaining that, like, you have complaints about religion? Because I haven't.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are hurting my feelings.
You don't agree that the complaints are reasonable, Jay?
Well, if you're all moral relativists and you're also subjectivists, and you think that all complaints are valid, they should be equally as valid as anybody else's. So I don't know what your issues and complaints are all about.
Well, that's why I said they are out of the gate, right? Because we're just human men and women. And then we go to this table of ideas, and then we hash it out. That's all that's ever going on and ever has, dude. So what are you talking about?
Okay, that's great. We're moving on now?
Right, so you agree. So no one's talking shit on moral subjectivism.
Yeah, but the difference is that you guys think that you have more validity in your.
Give me an example. Give me an example of something.
Earlier in this conversation, when I asked you these questions, you said, based on your opinions and preferences, you're more valid and I'm silly. You're more right than me, based on that, even though it's equal.
Exactly correct.
So is it equal or is it equally valid?
I just said it.
Are you equally valid or are you more right?
Okay.
You said you were more right.
Yeah. On certain subjects, mine are more valid than yours, and yours are inferior and factually incorrect.
Correct.
Okay, can I be a secular humanist and still be Christian and believe in science, and then what? Then what?
It depends on what we're talking about. Give me an example of something. We'll analyze it together.
Answer the question, dude.
I just did.
He just did.
You know what science is, right? So you think?
Yes, I know. Again, see again. With your magic, high level.
So you think
it just
that?
gets confusing for me because you're so high level and deep when you talk about these things.
Okay, all right.
I mean, he's mostly just nice drunk.
Okay.
I don't get it.
So here's an interesting.
You're the kind of person that makes yourself angry.
Don't you think dozens of people in the scientific community believe in a higher power? Don't you know that? It's over.
What does it fucking matter?
They write all your science books, and you think they're crazy? They're writing your fucking
What are
science.
you even talking about?
What are you talking about? Scientists don't bring their religion into their science. That's
Obviously,
it's a
but does
part.
that have? So you don't think there's any kind of influence whatsoever in their worldview on the basis
They're
of a higher
scientists.
power?
No.
Well, isn't that the claim here? I'm ridiculous because I believe in a magic sky daddy.
No, you're ridiculous because you act like a fucking child.
Oh, so you're gonna talk about me, okay, not the religion. Okay, I got you. If you want to have a different conversation about me, we can.
Okay, can I ask you the same question about
Or we
religion?
can discuss religion like we were and stop doing all these.
So let me ask you the same question that you didn't want to answer. Okay.
Well, why am I talking to three fucking people at the same time?
You're not. I'm just making it based again, dude. I'm going back to the Roman numeral.
Romero, and then we got subscribe over here that has to chime in once in a while.
Just relax. No, it doesn't matter. I'm always going back to the basics because remember, you're way quicker than me. You have a stronger grasp on the things that God thinks about and how He operates in His communication strategies, way more than I do. That's why I come back to this basic premise that you were mentioning earlier, and correct me if I'm wrong, But it sounds like of the 33,000 denominations of the types of believers or Christians, let's just limit it to the United States, right? That you, as a Catholic, possess a stronger grasp of the clear communication that God is trying to transmute to you guys. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is accurate.
Okay, great. All right. So you want to talk about that?
No, because I tried to do that before, and then I get cut off every 5
Well, you
seconds.
brought it up. That's why I just brought it back, because you just brought it up.
A million fucking questions by 3 different people.
Well, you brought it up, so I thought I'd get back there because I didn't forget about you, dude. I hear you, right? And I want to focus on that knowledge that you guys possess. So what I did to show you my interest levels is first I said, well, can you give me a strong example of something that differentiates you from these other inferior denominations that you scorn so heavily, and think that you have like some piece of evidence that you could provide for me that would differentiate you guys? You never gave me anything. You just said, oh, our history is really intact or something like that. Alright, so never mind, dude. We don't have to talk about what we were talking about earlier, like you brought up with Romero, because you really wanted to talk about what we were talking about earlier tonight. It's okay, you know. Try to get someone else. Like, let's see.
Yeah, I'm sitting here in my living room in the sun, enjoying a nice cold cocktail beverage. And I gotta tell you, if I wasn't laying in the sun, relaxing, having a cocktail, enjoying my life and luxury, it would be unbearable to talk to someone like that. And that's the thing about clown houses. You can come here and actually listen to this bullshit. But in the real world, if you met somebody like that at the post office, you'd be like, listen, man, I just came to drop off some mail. Have a good life and take care. God bless.
Well, clearly you've been here a long time, right?
Listen, I don't know if you know how the rules of a roast work, but if you're a speaker, you're technically participating in your own self-roast. So just be careful what you say.
Yeah,
that's actually a really good. Dude, you've changed the way I see Clubhouse, dude. It's fucking hilarious. Because, dude, when you said if I wasn't just relaxing in the sun, well, dude, that's exactly what I've been doing all morning. I've got my coffee, I've got a bong, and I'm just sitting here.
The thing is, this could be therapeutic for people, where you can actually enlighten them, which means take away from their bullshit. That means individuals have to be counter-reacted essentially on the minimal, meaning you can't exert too much energy trying to counteract somebody's inner demons. I mean, they just want to talk about nothing, like moral subjectivity and subjective moralism and objective reality, subjective like, what do these terms really mean? What are you trying to say? What is your purpose here? Like, a couple years from now, when you look back on this conversation and you're like, what was I really even doing? What was I even talking about? Nothing. I'm retarded. And so maybe just saying, go to the gym, read a book, I don't know, live your best life, and come in here and thinking like you're going to solve the world by having a debate with a guy who puts together roasts. Oh, what a world, what a life. Got kicked again. Welcome to the Kick Show.
you were involved.
Yeah, of course I'm confused right beginning. Can you imagine this? If you having a very vivid dream and you have no clue, but it's it's not like the normal dream. It's like a strong signal out of the normal noise. And if you are humble, you try to figure out what's going on, and then October 7th happened. And then you get interested, and then you get attracted to be involved in the online platform, because before that I'm not in the online platform. And then after a while, I encountered one Messianic Jews, and he was defending, trying to justify Israel to a lot of Muslims shouting at him. Every 30 seconds, they come and spit on him. Every 30 seconds, spit on him. That is pretty much November 2023 and December 2023.
Beauty.
Well, you sound sympathetic towards Jewish
I think I
people.
have a good eye.
I mean,
I'm
I'm a
good
scientist.
evaluation.
You can challenge me. You can bring an atheist. This guy read, and he's a pro-Palestine. All pro-Palestine cannot stand me telling truth. They will interrupt immediately.
Right.
When I look at you,
Pro-ISIS, pro-Iran, pro-Hamas.
If you want me to talk, then we put him down. Then we can have a proper talk. Is it okay?
I'm not a Ahmad.
Look how stupid you sound, Dave. When you don't know me and say something from out of your ass. You stupid dumb fuck. You don't know me, Dave.
Somebody want to make me Ahmad here?
You don't know me. Don't say bullshit when you don't know me.
All right. What do you want to say, Mr. Reed?
No, I don't want to say anything. He called me out for no reason.
Does he know you?
The only person I know is your Maho.
You know who? You know? Can you repeat that? Are you going to make a point, sir? Did you say something like my mom? You're not going to answer? All right, well,
Maybe right, you can introduce yourself so we can understand who you are and what you are here for.
Well, I was here way before you came, sir.
Okay.
I was discussing something with your Maho and I'm normal regarding the.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Pardon me, Ray. Excuse me.
So anyway, Dave.
Just trying to connect to my phone.
Sympathy is always welcome, but as you may have seen, our responses about being bleached are going to be less welcoming. You understand that, Dave? David?
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you, yeah. We can.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. I missed the last minute or so, but I don't think there needs to be any kind of harsh feelings. Dave's a decent guy. I may not agree with everything he has. He may get a little bit too religious for me, a little bit on his topics. I lack a depth of knowledge in these areas. It's not compatible with Dave's. I have different ideas, and anyway, but he's a good man, right?
Yeah,
okay. And Raid, Dave, is a good kid. He's respectful. We don't agree on a lot of things, but he's a decent person to talk to. You know, we may vehemently disagree on things, but he knows how to be polite. And anyway, so if there was some kind of beef there, I don't want to hear about it anymore in here because it just bugs me. I do want to talk, if I could just kind of reset our room, because I've been kind of busy. I started this room like maybe an hour or more ago. And, hold on a second. If Prince Kyle came, should we let him speak? What?
Yeah, Prince Kyle came earlier and he wanted to speak.
I don't care. If I'm not here, it's inherited space. If I'm not here, I'm not here. I don't give a shit. If I come back and I don't like the topic, I'll either change the topic or the room. You know what I mean, ET?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, what's up, subscribe? How's it going?
Yo, I'm sitting in the sun. I just finished some orange juice and Miller High Life. I'm relaxing in a lawn chair in my dining room, watching the setting sun. And you know, a lot of people say two-state solution is over, but I say it never really began because technically God is one. Therefore, Israel is one state, not two.
Well, okay. Listen, just so everybody knows, our friend here, he streams the room. I know a lot of us are uncomfortable with it. I'm one of them. I guess if you're into that kind of thing, you could, find him on here. Get a room. So, with that being said, I just respectfully ask, first of all, I don't want to be recorded.
I'll put the link in the chat.
I'd like to know where it's being streamed. And that being said, if I chose to be in the room while that's happening, that would be one thing. But I don't want it in rooms that I'm hosting, to be fair about it. But if you're in a room...
Well, it's there in the chat. If you want to kick me, kick me.
He has a chat.
Well, I don't want to... I really don't want to feel like I'm kicking you out.
Nobody can... No.
Hang out with us. You know what it is, Edmund? I'd rather you come hang out with us and not stream it. That's really what I'd rather, because I like your contributions.
But the point is, I don't want to hang out with people that don't... I don't want to hang out with people that don't want to be streamed.
I guess with that, I just have to say goodbye for now. And I hope I see you in another room, and if it's in a different dynamic, and I'm not hosting it, she's in then that's fair, we can hang out. But when I'm hosting the room, I'd rather not. What do you think? Because like I said, I really like hanging out with you. And sometimes I like listening.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's your time, Like, I don't care if you kick me or not. I'll just go to another room and listen to another room. I mean, the live stream is in the chat. You can see where I go, but you don't care. Nobody cares. So do whatever you got to do.
Sort of massive revolution or cultural orientation that drives change. But for now, it's not cute.
Yeah, I know. Hey, bro, I'm going to stay beach.
Man denkt, Bruder, man denkt Arafat. Ich war die Mutter von Arafat, Bruder, da war mein Hund hier. Hey, Lola, Babi. Komm mal hoch. Ja, nur der Mauer, wir reden, okay. Die reden weiter. Hey, die Daddy will eben mit der einen Frau reden. Die reden beide auf einmal. Die reden ganz einfach. Dann jemand, ey, warte mal, ey. Der kommt mit einem Kamera. Oder jemand Besseres als Kamerins. Nein, ich glaube, das geht nicht. Du kannst kein Besseres. Nein, du machst mal Wallah. Und mach doch. Ich will ganz schön dich ficken, Alter. Und mach doch. Guck mal, was die sagen, Alter. Du kannst kein Besseres wie Camo finden. Und dann schreibe ich dir das privat. So, wenn ihr einen Bruder findet, dann
Do what you gotta do. Assalamu alaikum.
Wenn ihr einen brutaleren findet, dann auf jeden Fall Arti, weil der Typ eine Kopie von mir.
كيف حالك حبيبي؟ Are you ready for Benjamin Netanyahu to come to Gaza to take the land from the people?
Ready for what? Ready for what? Ready for what?
Some young Jewish guy is going to take the land and build Trump a hotel. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
With American countries, we have U.S. corporations that are taking advantage of these South American countries, taking advantage of property owners and shit. Like, there's so much more fucked up shit going on that people don't even acknowledge, and it's never going to be in the news because they don't want you to know. They want the fucking working class. They want us making babies that we can't afford. They want us being dependent on a system and not being independent at all. We'll talk about homesteading. To even get the concept of having a homestead is going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, you can't just go out there and broke bitch live somebody. Like, it just doesn't work like.
Yeah, well, so I think some people would like to speak. We don't have a queue right now because there's not that many people, but just when someone's done speaking, you can just come off your mic and speak. Just wanted to share that.
So that's the thing with I agree with you, Terry. Even the fact that like a lot of the people, some of the wealthy people in my life, like.
What would I like to do?
A friend of mine that I've been dating for a while, he let me know, he's like, hey, so your mom's right. Like, the wealth gap has become, like, inconceivable. Like, a lot of people are not going to understand, like, the wealthier are going to be wealthier and the poor are going to be even more poor. Like, it's not going to be an in-between. They're trying to space it out. And, like, he's like, if you're not already there, on your way there, like, it's kind of a wrap. It's already happening. Like, this is what, the whole plan is. And so, him already being in that position, I'm just here, like, saying, so what's your plan? I'm like, well, I'm not wealthy, so I guess, at my age, it's just having my wealthy husband. And he started laughing or whatever. But I just find that that's the thing right now. Like, there's a lot of people who are going to be horribly affected by other things that are happening. So I can see how, like, poverty is going to become even worse. There's going to be a lot more people who are going to be put in the poverty bracket of life. And I feel like a lot of people don't have the education or the cognitive ability to understand, what's going to happen to them. But I feel like people who are still working towards it and still, like, there, I feel like a lot of people might be able to help others. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, my college professor, his argument, well, it wasn't really an argument, it wasn't a book, but the argument was that poverty equals crime. And if you're in poverty, then you're more likely to commit the crime. And he was ecstatic that him as a police officer, he would target these poor communities and go after them, knowing the reason why they commit these crimes, but they don't care.
It's literally systematic, like, it's in your and yet they act like that doesn't exist at all. And really, a lot of people didn't care until white people started being affected by it, because the entire creation of it was to oppress people of color. And then once white people finally started being victims of this system and realizing, like, oh, you mean if I get busted with a fucking weed brownie, I lose my constitutional rights? Oh, that's just unacceptable. And then there started being a movement. But they still, none of those people that I saw, at least in the political spectrum, even supported the BLM movement, which is literally the same thing as, like, our life is not worth the stupid ass shit that y'all equate it to. Like,
okay, guys, please, no cursing in this room. And I think Delta has been trying to come off the mic to speak. I also want to go back to what we're saying. What is turbo parenting? Delta, go ahead.
All right, so yeah, thank you so much, Joyce. I've been listening, trying to figure out the trajectory of the room, and I think I would like to take off from where you had stopped. Yeah, what is terrible parenting? So I think for us to consider something terrible, there has to be a good one, right? So I see good parenting um, as parents. So parents providing love to their children, care, providing guidance.
Personally, I don't think an infinite regress is intuitive, but I don't think it's impossible. And we haven't figured out time, like the ontology of time. It's not like there's a consensus on how to understand time. So if we don't have if we don't have a consensus on how to understand time, we can't say about whether there's a beginning or what a beginning looks like, or whether an infinite regress is impossible, or how you could get to a finite point like now, even if there was an infinite chain of cause and events in the past. You don't get to make this kind of claims if you have.
Yeah, the point is, even if it doesn't matter, right? Like what theory of time you subscribe to, and there are like different debates on whether you disagree, like where you disagree, whether you take like substantivalism or some sort of relational view on time, A B theory. As the point is, as long as you're affirming temporal passage, you can ask this question and this like unique question. You can ask a question about whether like the past is infinite or not in this sense of causally. And it doesn't seem like there is any good argument against an infinite regress of causation.
I want to ask this: how maybe a parent can claim that to be committed to there being causal relations entails that there's like a first cause?
How does it not?
No, wait, but that's your claim, correct?
I'm asking you, how does it not? Like, if you believe in cause and effect.
Wait.
Is there a structure for a cause and effect theory without a first cause? If there is, please explain.
Wait, but do you understand what I asked you?
Go ahead.
I'm asking. Yeah, well, you didn't answer. But I'm asking you a question of whether this is your claim or not. I'm understanding your claim to be if one is committed to there being causal relations, then there's a first event or something like that. Is that right? And what's the argument for that?
conspiracy. He's like, is Tony gay? And he's clearly not, right? He's clearly banging a bunch of chicks.
I love. It's like you sound like you're trying to convince yourself.
What a fanboy thing to say. I said that because I was gonna say, but he comes across as like gay as shit. Like, you know.
You should see his condo.
Yeah.
It's the gayest condo
That's
I've
so
ever been in.
gay, but not that way.
It's so nice. It's perfect. Everything is in a perfect place to where the lighting hits it.
There's not a speck of dust on the floor.
No, never.
Wait, have you seen his dick, Ari? No, I've never seen his dick. Yeah, Tony Hinchcliffe's dick.
I've seen his nuts.
He's seen mine. Obviously, I think everyone's seen it.
How many people have seen your dick?
I'm really an asshole, huh?
I've been told by so many women that he has a huge dick.
Yeah, I think that this cocky buffoon just started to lessen.
For an hour, bro, for a cop showed up, right? I don't know. I guess no. Damn, bro.
This cocky buffoon just started to lessen.
For an hour, bro, for a cop showed up, right? I don't know. I guess no. Damn, bro.
This cocky buffoon just started.
The Tao that can be told is not the.
Tao Te Ching can be translated as hot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it is the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. 12. Colors blind the eye. Sounds deafen the ear. Flavors numb the taste. Thoughts weaken the mind. Desires wither the heart. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. His heart is open as the sky. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms that arise from thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things. 14. Look, and it can't be seen. Listen, and it can't be heard. Reach, and it can't be grasped. Above, it isn't bright. Below, it isn't dark. Seamless, unnameable, it returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes includes all forms. Image without an image. Subtle, beyond all conception. Approach it, and there is no beginning. Follow it, and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it, at ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom. 15. The ancient masters were profound and subtle. Their wisdom was unfathomable. There is no way to describe it. All we can describe is their appearance. They were careful as someone crossing an iced-over stream, alert as a warrior in enemy territory, courteous as a guest, fluid as melting ice, shapeable as a block of wood, receptive as a valley, clear as a glass of water. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The master doesn't seek fulfillment. Not seeking, not expecting. She is present and can welcome all things. 16. Empty your mind of all thoughts. Let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the common source. Returning to the source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the Tao, you can deal with whatever life brings you. And when death comes, you are ready. When the master governs, the people are hardly aware that he exists. Next best is a leader who is loved. Next, one who is feared. The worst is one who is despised. If you don't trust the people, you make them untrustworthy. The master doesn't talk, he acts. When his work is done, the people say, "Amazing, we did it, all by ourselves." 18. When the great Tao is forgotten, goodness and piety appear. When the body's intelligence declines, cleverness and knowledge step forth. When there is no peace in the family, filial piety begins. When the country falls into chaos, patriotism is born. 19. Throw away holiness and wisdom, and people will be 100 times happier. Throw away morality and justice, and people will do the right thing. Throw away industry and profit, and there won't be any thieves. If these three aren't enough, just stay at the center of the circle and let all things take their course. 20. Stop thinking and end your problems. What difference between yes and no? What difference between success and failure? Must you value what others value? Avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous. Other people are excited, as though they were at a parade. I alone don't care. I alone am expressionless, like an infant before it can smile. Other people have what they need. I alone possess nothing. I alone drift about, like someone without a home. I am like an idiot, my mind is so empty. Other people are bright. I alone am dark. Other people are sharp. I alone am dull. Other people have a purpose. I alone don't know. I drift like a wave on the ocean. I blow as aimless as the wind. I am different from ordinary people. I drink from the great mother's breasts. 21. The master keeps her mind always at one with the Tao. That is what gives her her radiance. The Tao is ungraspable. How can her mind be at one with it? Because she doesn't cling to ideas. The Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make her radiant? Because she lets it. Since before time and space were, the Tao is. It is beyond is and is not. How do I know this is true? I look inside myself and see. "22. If you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. The master, by residing in the Tao, sets an example for all beings. Because he doesn't display himself, people can see his light. Because he has nothing to prove, people can trust his words. Because he doesn't know who he is, people recognize themselves in him. Because he has no goal in mind, everything he does succeeds. When the ancient masters said, "If you want to be given everything, give everything up," they weren't using empty phrases. Only in being lived by the Tao can you be truly yourself. '23. Express yourself completely, then keep quiet. Be like the forces of nature. When it blows, there is only wind. When it rains, there is only rain. When the clouds pass, the sun shines through. If you open yourself to the Tao, you are at one with the Tao, and you can embody it completely. If you open yourself to insight, you are at one with insight, and you can use it completely. If you open yourself to loss, you are at one with loss, and you can accept it completely. Open yourself to the Tao, then trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. 24. He who stands on tiptoe doesn't stand firm. He who rushes ahead doesn't go far. He who tries to shine dims his own light. He who defines himself can't know who he really is. He who has power over others can't empower himself. He who clings to his work will create nothing that endures.
Good kick, my dude. What you gonna do?
If you want to accord with the Tao, just do your job, then let go. 25.
Really don't care.
There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. Earth is great. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth. Earth follows the universe. The universe follows the Tao. The Tao follows only itself. 26. The heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus the master travels all day without leaving home. However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. 27. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent upon arriving. A good artist lets his intuition lead him wherever it wants. A good scientist has freed himself of concepts and keeps his mind open to what is. Thus the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you will get lost, however intelligent you are. It is the great secret. 28. Know the male, yet keep to the female. Receive the world in your arms. If you receive the world, the Tao will never leave you, and you will be like a little child. Know the white, yet keep to the black. Be a pattern for the world. If you are a pattern for the world, the Tao will be strong inside you, and there will be nothing you can't do. Know the personal, and keep to the impersonal. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous inside you, and you will return to your primal self. The world is formed from the void, like utensils from a block of wood. The master knows the utensils, yet keeps to the block. Thus she can use all things. 29. Do you want to improve the world? I don't.
No, not at all. Consciousness is emergent from brain matter, right? The function of it.
It can't be improved. If you tamper with it.
Sir, how is it?
object, you'll lose it. There's a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous, a time for being exhausted.
Hey, do you support the Trump Tower?
A time for being safe. A time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are,
What do you think you'll get
without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way.
I'm looking at the chat. Did you kick out Jazzy for pissing on a clown eyes?
Whoever relies on the Tao in governing men doesn't try to force issues or defeat enemies by force of arms. For every force, there's a counterforce. Violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself.
You're like a Nazi. You got no empathy.
The master does his job and then stops. He understands that the universe is forever out of control.
He would kill you if he could take your money legally.
Goes against the current of the Tao. Because he believes in himself.
I have no idea what he's talking about, but being the sounding board helps him. And like everything about it, it goes great until the last he finishes the verse, and then Dr. Katz will be like, "So, like, can you prove this other piece that this is, now that you've proven this, what about going this step further?" And he just gets very upset at that point. He goes like, he hasn't proven enough. Like, so he's like,
all decent men detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent man will avoid them, except in the direst necessity.
Between the two,
if compelled,
in general, it doesn't
use
like
them
you got
only
carved
with
on like
the
a country
utmost
rock.
restraint. Peace is his highest value. If the peace has been shattered, how can he be content? His enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. He doesn't wish them personal harm, nor does he rejoice in victory. How could he rejoice in victory and delight in the slaughter of men? He enters a battle gravely, with sorrow, and with great compassion, as if he were attending a funeral. 32. The Tao can't be perceived. Smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women remain centered in the Tao, all things will
That's
be
not true.
harmony.
It says. No. They said it was a rogue element in
The
the
world
GIP.
will become a paradise.
What do you mean by GIP? Excuse me?
All people will
What do
be
you mean by
at peace,
GIP? The General
and the
Intelligence
law
Branch.
will be written in their
The
hearts.
Riyasat al-Istiqlal.
When you have names and forms,
the Saudi intelligence?
know that they are provisional.
So that has nothing to do with it.
Institutions.
I never ever
Know
read of it,
where
and
their
I'm a person
functions
who's
should
deeply
end.
in Middle Eastern politics. I don't think that ever came out.
Knowing when to
The
stop.
only thing that actually kind of stopped. This is what some of the media sources say. We still don't know the truth. Can I look at the sources?
All people in the Tao, as
I'm gonna tell you because we already know it's with the back of with the military aid of Iran. Hamas is October 7th, and they did it out of nowhere.
Knowing yourself is true wisdom.
Next to I think it was the Yom Kippur.
So you're saying Iran didn't play
Mastering
any role in
others
October 7th?
is strength.
They aided it. They're the only
Mastering
ones that
yourself
Hamas. So
is true power.
indirectly, yes, they indirectly they
If
were
you
part of
realize
October
that you
7th.
have enough,
But because so many people came out.
How does Saudi Arabia feel about Israel today?
Yeah, I was gonna answer you.
if you stay in the center
Okay, so the
and
thing with
embrace
Iran,
death with your whole
it's
heart,
like
you will endure
I wanna,
forever.
it's like I wanna be your friend, but you're not allowing us to be friend. So our conference, he came more than one time. He said that we want peace.
The great
Arabian
Tao
Gulf. Of
flows
course, we want to call
everywhere.
it the Persian Gulf. We're not gonna fight over that. It's stupid.
All
We
things
want,
are
and
born
I'm
from
talking
it.
about that body of water because that's what
Yet it
separates us
doesn't
from Iran.
create
It's
them.
200 kilometers. They said we want peace in that region. We want
It
trade.
pours itself
We
into
want
its
to
work,
reopen our embassies, and we want
and
to
it makes
you.
no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be called humble. Since all things vanish into it, and it alone endures, it can be called great. It isn't aware of its greatness. Thus, it is truly great. 35. She who is centered in the Tao can go where she wishes without danger. She perceives the universal harmony, even amid great pain, because she has found peace in her heart. Music or the smell of good cooking may make people stop and enjoy. But words that point to the Tao seem monotonous and without flavor. When you look for it, there's nothing to see. When you listen for it, there's nothing to hear. When you use it, it is inexhaustible. 36. If you want to shrink something, you must first allow it to expand. If you want to get rid of something, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to take something, you must first allow it to be given. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. Just show people the results. 37. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. People would be content with their simple, everyday lives desire. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. 38. The master doesn't try to be powerful. Thus, he is truly powerful. The ordinary man keeps reaching for power. Thus, he never has enough. The master does nothing, yet he leaves nothing undone. The ordinary man is always doing things, yet many more are left to be done. The kind man does something, yet something remains undone. The just man does something, and leaves many things to be done. The moral man does something, and when no one responds, he rolls up his sleeves and uses force. When the Tao is lost, there is goodness. When goodness is lost, there is morality. When morality is lost, there is ritual. Ritual is the husk of true faith, the beginning of chaos. Therefore, the master concerns himself with the depths and not the surface, with the fruit and not the flower. He has no will of his own. He dwells in reality and lets all illusions go. In harmony with the Tao, the sky is clear and spacious. The earth is solid and full. All creatures flourish together, content with the way they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewed. When man interferes with the Tao, the sky becomes filthy. The earth becomes depleted. Creatures become extinct. The master views the parts with compassion because he understands the whole. His constant practice is humility. He doesn't wish to be tool, but lets himself be shaped by the Tao, as brave and common as a stone. 40. Of the Tao. Yielding is the way of the Tao. All things are born of being. Being is born of non-being. 41. When a superior man hears of the Tao, he immediately begins to embody it. When an average man hears of the Tao, he half believes it, half doubts it. When a foolish man hears of the Tao, he laughs out loud. If he didn't laugh, it wouldn't be the Tao. Thus it is said, the path into the light seems dark, path forward seems to go back. The direct path seems long. True power seems weak. True purity seems tarnished. True steadfastness seems changeable.
Previous or prior or antecedent causes, right? But
seems obscure. The greatest art.
And we're gonna put you on a very, very long list. So basically, fuck you.
The greatest love seems indifferent.
Sure.
The greatest wisdom seems childish.
Sure, you.
The Tao is nowhere to be found.
At the top of the room, I see two guys have a red ticket.
Yet it nourishes and completes
Who is
all
now?
things.
And who's talking? What's his?
Subscribe.
22.
This is the part not
The Tao gives
who the fuck are you?
birth to one.
Yeah,
One
Clarence
gives
good.
birth to two.
Dr. Baby, I look at your PTR and it gives me
Three
shivers.
gives birth to all things.
antecedent causes on your account, right? That
All
does
things
not
have
determine
their backs to the
your
female.
reasons, your ability to,
And
like, your
someone
first order
facing
passions.
the
The
male.
point is that okay, I was
Right.
I'm trying to explain what this
Male and
is.
female combined.
Right. It's what I'm saying is that on
All things achieve harmony.
right, your view ends up
Ordinary men hate solitude. But the master makes use of it, embracing his aloneness, realizing he is one with the whole universe. 43. The gentlest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. That which has no substance.
This one at 6 o'clock. That's too late.
Where there is no space.
Oh,
This
okay.
shows the value of
Right.
non-action.
At my sister's house, took the daycare. I saw my son since yesterday morning.
Teaching without words. Performing without actions.
She took you know your son here, she took your son to Atlanta. He right here. He's sitting on the couch with us, son.
44.
Okay, dude.
You know, my mother, right? That nigga did
Or
it.
integrity,
You pay.
which is more
Take
important.
care of my mother here, right?
Or happiness, which is more valuable.
The New Testament
Success or failure, which is more destructive.
pertaining to the pagan.
If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have.
You know, my stuff is all out there legitimately.
Rejoice in the way things are.
Bigger than it is. So if I'm
When
already
you
staying
realize
in
there is
hotels,
nothing
like
lacking,
double beds, you can stay.
the
you know,
whole
we
world
look apart,
belongs
you
to
know.
you.
And then what'll happen is I'll do a venue where no one's ever heard of me.
45.
If I kill it, you'll usually have me back, and then there'll be someone there.
True perfection
One or two people in the crowd.
seems imperfect,
Can you perform in my
yet
college?
it is
You know,
perfectly
that's how it
itself.
works. So sometimes I'm chasing
True fullness
35 people around that
seems
are well
empty,
placed 35 people, and other times there's
yet it is
thousands of
fully
people
present.
anxiously trying to meet someone before the crowd goes away, when people are trying to buy your
True
material. You know
straightness
what I mean? So
seems
it's
crooked.
definitely a hustle, and it's fun. But
True wisdom seems foolish.
True story. Making money ain't easy.
True art
it's not.
True story. I
seems
met at a
artless.
party. This is in the 1990s.
The master
In a
allows
fancy
things
neighborhood
to
in
happen.
Los Angeles. I met
She shapes
some of the
events as
grandchildren
they come.
of Bing Crosby. And
She steps out of
they
the
told
way
me he was an asshole.
and
Like
lets
our
the
grandpa
tale
was a
speak for
jerk, but
itself.
we got filtered from him because our parents took most of the heat. But
46.
he left so much money for that one song
When a country is in harmony
made more
with
money
the
than
Tao,
any song in the history of the world.
the
That
factories
we
and
have
crooks and
never
factors,
had to work. We've never had to go
What
to
song
the
is that?
country goes counter to the
Like
Tao.
Christmas has made so much money.
Warheads are
It's
stockpiled
made so much
outside
money
the
going
cities.
back to the year it was written by Irving Berlin in
There is no greater
1936 or
illusion than
37
fear,
or during the war or whenever it was
no
written.
greater wrong
It has made
than
more money
preparing
than
to defend
any
yourself,
other song. And
no greater
it
misfortune
happened in BMI.
than having an enemy.
I did know. I told you I used to hang out with
Whoever can
people
see
that were in
through
the
all
music
fear
business. I did know a lady that
will
got
always be
about
safe.
$500,000 a year for writing the words to one of the Christmas songs. I can't
47.
say who it was, but she wrote the lyrics to one. She didn't write the song. She didn't perform the song, but she got about half of it. She's packed.
Without looking out your window, you can see the essence of the Tao. The more you know, the less you understand. The master arrives without leaving, sees the light without looking, achieves without doing a thing. In the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In the practice of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Less and less do you need to force things, until finally you arrive at non-action. Nothing is done. Nothing is left undone. True mastery can be gained by letting things go their own way. It can't be gained by interfering. 29. The master has no mind of her own. She runs with the mind of the people. She's good to people who are good. She's also good to people who aren't good. This is true goodness. She trusts people who are trustworthy. She also trusts people who are untrustworthy. This is true trust. The master's mind is like space. People don't understand her. They look to her and wait. She treats them like her own children. 50. The master gives himself up to whatever the moment brings. He knows that he is going to die, and he has nothing left to hold on to. No illusions in his mind. No resistances in his body. He doesn't think about his actions. They flow from the core of his being. He holds nothing back from life. Therefore, he is ready for death, as a man is ready for sleep after a good day's work. 51. Every being in the universe is an expression of the Tao. It springs into existence, unconscious, perfect, free, takes on a physical body, lets circumstances complete it. That is why every being spontaneously honors the Tao. The Tao gives birth to all beings, nourishes them, maintains them, cares for them, comforts them, protects them, takes them back to itself, creating without possessing, acting without expecting, guiding without interfering. That is why love of the Tao is in the very nature of things. In the beginning was the Tao. All things issue from it. All things return to it. To find the origin, trace back the manifestations. When you recognize the children and find the mother, you will be free of sorrow. If you close your mind in judgments and traffic with desires, your heart will be troubled. If you keep your mind from judging and aren't led by the senses, your heart will find peace. Seeing into darkness is clarity. Knowing how to yield is strength. Use your own light and return to the source of light. This is called practicing eternity. 53. The great way is easy, yet people prefer the side paths. Be aware when things are out of balance. Stay centered within the Tao. When rich speculators prosper, while farmers lose their land, when government officials spend money on weapons instead of cures, when the upper class is extravagant and irresponsible, while the poor have nowhere to turn, all this is robbery and chaos. It is not in keeping with the Tao. 54. Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. Her name will be held in honor from generation to generation. Let the Tao be present in your life, and you will become genuine. Let it be present in your family, and your family will flourish. Let it be present in your country, and your country will be an example to all countries in the world. Let it be present in the universe, and the universe will sing. How do I know this is true? By looking inside myself. 55. He who is in harmony with the Tao is like a newborn child. Its bones are soft, its muscles are weak, but its grip is powerful. It doesn't know about the union of male and female, yet its penis can stand erect. So intense is its vital power. It can scream its head off all day, yet it never becomes hoarse. master's power is like this. He lets all things come and go effortlessly, without desire. He never expects results. Thus he is never disappointed. He is never disappointed. Thus, his spirit never grows old. 56. Those who know don't talk. Those who talk don't know. Close your mouth. Block off your senses. Blunt your sharpness. Untie your knots. Soften your glare. Settle your dust. This is the primal identity. Be like the Tao. It can't be approached or withdrawn from, benefited or harmed, honored or brought into disgrace. It gives itself up continually. That is why it endures. 57. If you want to be a great leader, you must learn to follow the Tao. Stop trying to control. Let go of fixed plans and concepts, and the world will govern itself. The more prohibitions you have, the less virtuous people will be. The more weapons you have, the less secure people will be. The more subsidies you have, the less self-reliant people will be. Therefore, the Master says, I let go of the law, and people become honest. I let go of economics, and people become prosperous. I let go of religion, and people become serene. I let go of all desire for the common good, and the good becomes common as grass. 58. If a country is governed with tolerance, the people are comfortable and honest. If a country is governed with repression, the people are depressed and crafty. When the will to power is in charge, the higher the ideals, the lower the results. Try to make people happy, and you lay the groundwork for misery. Try to make people moral, and you lay the groundwork for vice. Thus the Master is content to serve as an example and not to impose her will. She is pointed, but doesn't pierce. Straightforward, but supple. Radiant, but easy on the eyes. 59. For governing a country well, there is nothing better than moderation. The mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas. Tolerant like the sky, all-pervading like sunlight, firm like a mountain, supple like a tree in the wind. He has no destination in view, and makes use of anything life happens to bring his way. Nothing is impossible for him. Because he has let go, he can care for the people's welfare, as a mother cares for her child. Governing a large country is like frying a small fish. You spoil it with too much poking. Center your country in the Tao, and evil will have no power. Not that it isn't there, but you'll be able to step out of its way. Give evil nothing to oppose, and it will disappear by itself. 61. When a country obtains great power, it becomes like the sea. All streams run downward into it. The more powerful it grows, the greater the need for humility. Humility means trusting the Tao, thus never needing to be defensive. A great nation is like a great man. When he makes a mistake, he realizes it. Having realized it, he admits it. Having admitted it, he corrects it. He considers those who point out his faults as his most benevolent teachers. He thinks of his enemy as the shadow that he himself casts. If a nation is centered in the Tao, if it nourishes its own people and doesn't meddle in the affairs of others, it will be a light to all nations in the world. 62. The Tao is the center of the universe, the good man's treasure, the bad man's refuge. Honors can be bought with fine words. Respect can be won with good deeds. But the Tao is beyond all value, and no one can achieve it. Thus, when a new leader is chosen, don't offer to help him with your wealth or your expertise. Offer instead to teach him about the Tao. Why did the ancient masters esteem the Tao? Because being one with the Tao, when you seek, you find. And when you make a mistake, you are forgiven. That is why everybody loves it. 63. Act without doing. Work without effort. Think of the small as large, and the few as many. Confront the difficult while it is still easy. Accomplish the great task by a series of small acts. The master never reaches for the great. Thus she achieves greatness. runs into a difficulty, she stops and gives herself to it. She doesn't cling to her own comfort. Thus, problems are no problem for her. 64. What is rooted is easy to nourish. What is recent is easy to correct. What is brittle is easy to break. What is small is easy to scatter. Prevent trouble before it arises. Put things in order before they exist. The giant pine tree grows from a tiny sprout. The journey of 1,000 miles starts from beneath your feet. Rushing into action, you fail. Trying to grasp things, you lose them. Forcing a project to completion, you ruin what was almost ripe. Therefore, the master takes action by letting things take their course. He remains as calm at the end as at the beginning. He has nothing, thus has nothing to lose. What he desires is non-desire. What he learns is to unlearn. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the Tao. Thus, he can care for all things. 65. The ancient masters didn't try to educate the people, but kindly taught them to not know. When they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. When they know that they don't know, people can find their own way. If you want to learn how to govern, avoid being clever or rich. The simplest pattern is the clearest. Content with an ordinary life, you can show all people the way back to their own true nature. '66. All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them. The master is above the people, and no one feels oppressed. She goes ahead of the people, and no one feels manipulated. The whole world is grateful to her, because she competes with no one. No one can compete with her. 67. Some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty, but impractical. But to those who have looked inside themselves, this this nonsense makes perfect sense. And to those who put it into practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. 68. The best athlete wants his opponent at his best. The best general enters the mind of his enemy. The best businessman serves the communal good. The best leader follows the will of the people. All of them embody the virtue of non-competition. Not that they don't love to compete, but they do it in the spirit of play. In this, they are like children, and in harmony with the Tao. 69. The generals have a saying: rather than make the first move, it is better to wait and see. Rather than advance an inch, it is better to retreat a yard. This is called going forward without advancing, pushing back without using weapons. There is no greater misfortune than underestimating your enemy. Underestimating your enemy means thinking that he is evil. Thus, you destroy your 3 treasures and become an enemy yourself. When 2 great forces oppose each other, the victory will go to the one that knows how to yield. 70. My teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice. Yet your intellect will never grasp them, and if you try to practice them, you'll fail. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? If you want to know me, look inside your heart. 71. Not knowing is true knowledge. Presuming to know is a disease. First realize that you are sick. Then you can move toward health. The master is her own physician. She has healed herself of all knowing. Thus, she is truly whole. 72. When they lose their sense of awe, people turn to religion. When they no longer trust themselves, they begin to depend authority. Therefore, the master steps back so that people won't be confused. He teaches without a teaching so that people will have nothing to learn. 73. The Tao is always at ease. It overcomes without competing, answers without speaking a word, arrives without being summoned, accomplishes without a plan. Its net covers the whole universe, and though its meshes are wide, it doesn't let a thing slip through. 74. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of dying, there is nothing you can't achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you'll cut your hand. 75. When taxes are too high, people go hungry. When the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. Act for the people's benefit. Trust them. Leave them alone. 76. Men are born soft and supple. Dead, they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant. Dead, they are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail. 77. As it acts in the world, the Tao is like the bending of a bow. The top is bent downward. The bottom is bent up. It adjusts excess and deficiency so that there is perfect balance. It takes from what is too much and gives to what isn't enough. Those who try to control, who use force to protect their power, go against the direction of the Tao. They take from those who don't have enough and give to those who have far too much. The master can keep giving because there is no end to her wealth. She acts without expectation, succeeds without taking credit, and doesn't think that she is better than anyone else. 78. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water. Yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. The soft overcomes the hard. The gentle overcomes the rigid. Everyone knows this is true, but few can put it into practice. Therefore, the master remains serene in the midst of sorrow. Evil cannot enter his heart, because he has given up helping. He is people's greatest help. True words seem paradoxical. 79. Failure is an opportunity. If you blame someone else, there is no end to the blame. Therefore, the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. 80. If a country is governed wisely, its inhabitants will be content. They enjoy the labor of their hands and don't waste time inventing labor-saving machines. Since they dearly love their homes, they aren't interested in travel. There may be a few wagons and boats, but these don't go anywhere. There may be an arsenal of weapons, but nobody ever uses them. People enjoy their food, take pleasure in being with their families, spend weekends working in their gardens, delight in the doings of the neighborhood. And even though the next country is so close that people can hear its roosters crowing and its dogs barking, they are content to die of old age without ever having gone to see it. 81. True words aren't eloquent. Eloquent words aren't true. Wise men don't need to prove their point. Men who need to prove their point aren't wise. The master has no possessions. The more he does for others, the happier he is. The more he gives to others, the wealthier he is. The Tao nourishes by not forcing, by not dominating. The master